I'm retro. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based the debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray, Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight the kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim the Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we broadcasting all over the world. And we broadcasting simultaneously on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, so we can bring it to you every day. You got two different flavors that you can get it, and we're looking into other avenues where we can get this chop shop out. But let me tell you something. I want to start this show. I want to thank to everyone that's still out here working so hard in such complicated circumstances right now. The medical professionals, the first responders. I keep saying this every day because these people, I know people that are in these industries and they are on the front line. Everyone involved, the supply chain, everyone else out there. You know, I just want to let y'all know this show, our show, is for you. We're going to keep you company, keep you entertained for the next 2 hours. Jimmy, I had to go there, and just want people to understand the starting five. Let me take a shout out to Rod Wells, Tyandra Holmes, Todd Holmes, Derek Johnson, Daryl Anderson. It was some close people came right behind them, you know, like Mindy Collins and a couple of more people. But those are the five that popped up on my screen immediately. Those are the first 5 people that popped up on my screen on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Because I got a apparatus here that tells who comes on first. So Jimmy, we got a unique day for them today. Got a special guest, you know, unique guest that came through the grassroots of this area, the greater Houston area, and I'm just so proud that we can bring young men on there here like this, Jimmy. And I know you can tell the story a little later. He was on your list. That's probably one of the times in your heyday when you was getting started out. And but we know we'll talk about that later. But what else, you guys? Great day in sports. The draft coming up in 2 days. Y'all have been busy. working on that and advising people on certain things with the draft. So, but Jimmy, what you got today? Mm-hmm.
Oh, get now the NFL draft. That's what you're talking about,
Yeah, the
right?
NFL draft. Yeah,
And that's taking place on
Thursday,
this weekend,
Thursday,
Thursday through
Friday,
when.
Saturday. Thursday, Friday,
So
Saturday.
when you say preparing and talking to people about that,
Yeah, yeah.
let's give them some.
No,
What goes into that?
well,
That's informative.
well, this unique. This is you. First of all, it's a unique year. Uh, and on Friday, on one of the Fridays we were on, I talked about it. So I'll give it to you here on Tuesday. It's just usually this time of year before the draft, a lot of stuff. You done had your pro day. That means you go to your college and come back to your college that you are comfortable with, and you put on a show that's conducive to make you look good. Because of earlier, all of the guys went to Indianapolis to the combine, and the combine is not designed for them to look good. It's designed for them to check out your flaws. So anytime they come into the combine, it's set up for you to fail. It's set up for them to find every excuse not to give you their bread. Okay, so then you counter that with coming with what they call the pro day. Schools give, if your school don't give it, a neighboring school in your state, like let's say you're TSU and you don't have a pro day, you can go to Rice Pro Day. You can go to U of H Pro Day. Those athletes can go to those colleges pro day. Sometimes guys don't like to do it, but that's how it is. And this particular time, this year, Jimmy, the guys can't work out. The guys can't. If you notice, the free agencies, a lot of these deals are held up in free agency because they hadn't had physicals and by the team's physician. Tom Brady, different. Special players, special. They both agreed on a neutral party in New York to test Tom Brady, and the team and the agent agreed. That's why Tom Brady's deal got done. That was special because he Tom Brady. But most players who sign these free agents deals, they haven't been consummated yet because they have to be signed and they have to have a physical in order for you to start getting a check. Okay? So this year, Jimmy, they doing a lot of virtual. Like you and I right here. You in another place, I'm in another place. I got coaches on the line. I think they zooming. They got Jimmy, they download. Like one kid told me, Mr. Hatter, I've downloaded a million apps. They got different apps that you can have conferences on. They got a team app. They got this. The kid, and what they do, Jimmy, is get on the phone just like we do and talk to the guy. And the limit is 4 hours. You can't keep a kid past 4 hours. And some teams take that long, because they're just trying to get to know the guy who they about to draft, because they won't be able to bring them into their facilities. So it's a unique time for the young men because they still got to work out. They got to practice social distancing, quote unquote, while they work out. And it's just been a trying time. This pandemic has inconvenienced and changed their way. But guess what? Like I said, Jimmy, we're going to come out stronger from it. Maybe the teams, guess what? Maybe the teams, like John Elway said something real key. Because sometimes, Jimmy, these teams, when the guy go work out for them, they throw little innuendos out there. Well, he ain't this. I ain't gonna, what you call that? Hey, Jimmy, raise up a little bit if you can. Just come up. You're near. Yeah, just come up a little bit. You're a little lower than me. But so yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect. Perfect. So now, so that's the unique thing about it. It's not. Guess what's happening? The commissioner is at his house. All of the team personnel are at their house. They own conferences. They got 4 or 5 TVs up there. But Jimmy, all the time, Jimmy. Anyway, the use of the telephone is still. Well, if you ever watch the draft, they always call the guy. Say, "I'm gonna pick you next. I'm gonna pick you next." But sometimes, Jimmy, they have called guys, and they didn't pick them next. They picked somebody else. So it's I'm excited about it, and the reason I get so excited about the draft What's up, Melvin Dews and Abdul Mustafa? The reason I get so excited because these young men get a chance to have and acquire generational saving money and generational, if they do it right, wealth. I mean, they change their whole life changed. You know, the mama they used to have mouth didn't look so good. Now she got braces. You know, I mean, it's just Jimmy. I'm telling you, a whole lot of things change. But I was laughing at. I think I was talking to you about it. What's unique? The NFL don't have to spend that money. You know, guys gonna save money, not have to fly to Vegas or New York like they used to, like Nashville last year. They don't have to spend that money. The agents don't have to spend that money on all the hotel rooms for everybody. And Jimmy, they had this elaborate set though. Y'all got to go Google it. They had this elaborate set at the Bellagio, Jimmy's favorite hotel. They had where the water fountain is, and what they're gonna have a stage on the water. And they were going to, by boat, bring each candidate up by boat. He's going to get off the boat and get on the platform. And people from the street, from the strip, they was closing the strip down, Jimmy, from some sort. So everybody just out there on the strip, you know, on the street and everything, where they can be able to watch the draft. But that won't happen this year. And maybe they'll scrap it the next year. So that's the unique thing, Jimmy, the video conferencing. You know, you're not being able to work out. Those are the things that you know, those are the things that that's different. Somebody got a question?
Now we got a couple of questions in the boom boom room for you. We're talking, just joining the Chop Shop. How you guys doing? It's happy Tuesday to you guys on the Chop Shop. You know, we're going to cover a variety of topics. Yes, we're going to continue to talk about some Last Dance stuff and some NBA stuff and some amateur sports. We got a special guest expected to join us at the 45-minute past the hour mark. That is former NBA star. He's a star in our eyes all day long. You last that long in the league, you definitely a star. And NBA analyst right now, we're talking about Kendrick Perkins. So stay tuned for that. But meanwhile, here's the questions, Ab. One question is, so do some of these players, we talking about the NFL draft, are preparing for the NFL draft, do they benefit from not having the combine or pro day? That's question number one.
What the combine, you want to go, you don't benefit from not going to either one of them. Because let's get this straight. The combine happened, okay? The combine happened. The pro days didn't happen. I just want to make sure in case they didn't. Some people, you beg to get invited to the combine. You want to get invited because all the teams are there. You get the chance to meet everybody. But it's some people, and I don't know in recent, it's possible to get drafted. It's possible. But not likely. But it's possible. Because you got to understand, some of these small college guys are not invited up there. And they make it every year. So it's but the pro day, it hurts and hinders some. They had forgot, Jimmy, they had another one. They had the Senior Bowl. So all the seniors got a chance to ball. So it's some seniors that saw at the Senior Bowl. It's going to push if they like the quarterback from Oregon. Those guys, see, Jimmy, you know how we are visual people. Those guys, they saw them. You follow me? So a lot of this stuff is on film, and I mean, it's no guarantee whether you benefit either way. But that's a great question. I mean, in professional sports, always remember these the top 1% athletes in the world. It's a lot of luck. And everything got to go into it. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, if you sit here and think you got this stuff licked and think you know what you're talking about, it's a lot of first-round guys who get drafted in the first round. Y'all, I promise you, most of them don't make it to the second contract. I know a lot of people don't understand. Most of them don't make it to the second contract. You got to understand the average NBA lifespan is 3.5 years. So most guys, everybody ain't going to be like Tom Brady. We just think everybody like Tom Brady. No, it's not going to be like that. But that's a great question.
And we have another question for you and Melvin asked, does the NBA have a test similar to that Wonderlic test,
No.
which was made famous
No.
in the NFL.
No. No. No.
And you guys, we just tuning in. We're talking about preparing prospects for the NFL draft process. NFL draft will take place Thursday through Saturday, that is, and it is expected to be the most watched NFL draft in history, which is easy to understand and comprehend because most people will be at home, you know.
You know what I
And
love, Jimmy? You know what I'm gonna love? Not watching them some of them mamas come across there in them ugly outfits. And I don't want to see some of them other ugly outfits. That's the great thing about not being able to watch that thing. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just popped up in my mind.
And Alfio asked, does it benefit to go to the pro day, and which you've kind of touched over already, just tuning, and the NFL Combine, which you touched? He just probably got in the room, pulled in his parking spot, and he missed that part. But just rephrase it for him real quick. So you have to wait 2 hours.
It's best to go, man. Let me tell you something. Anytime these people can see you, I call them evaluation periods. That's why I say I love for them guys to go to the bowl game. You know, everybody talking about there's too many bowl games. No, that's another game that a pro scout can watch you, Jimmy. Anytime you have a value, especially the guys who need that extra push. You know, the guy might get 4 interceptions in a game. You're going to look at that cornerback. The guy might get 5 sacks in that game. You're going to look at that defensive end. You're going to take another look at him because you're going to say, wow. But the unique thing is they try to watch how does it against guys that's on the other team that are pros too. That's why the SEC is so big, because most of the guys on who you're playing against, if you're a wide receiver and you do it well, like Jerry Jeudy, you're playing against other NFL prospects. So they're going to be held in more high regard than, but I'm going to tell y'all, this Jordan Love kid, Jimmy, from Utah, I told y'all about him a long time ago. And I've been trying. I said, man, it's something about this dude. I started watching the tape. He does some stupid stuff. But guess what? Peyton Manning had 8 interceptions in his rookie season. Let's get the Hall of Famer. Peyton Manning had 28 interceptions in his rookie season. But, I mean, he got it down. But any other questions on there, Jimmy?
Yeah, we have another. Say, how much stock do the NFL teams put in the combine videos that these players created since they couldn't see them in person?
Let me tell you something. Not much. From what I hear, not much. Not much. They just like to know what you've been doing and seeing what you've been doing. Jimmy, these teams, man, you think the NBA scouting staff is extensive? The NFL scouting staff is uber extensive. So, hey, let me tell you something. They got you on tape. They know everything. Trey Wingo, Louis Riddick, who was my favorite guy on TV. Y'all got to watch Louis Riddick. It's my favorite guy on TV. I hate he came on because when he emerged, that eliminated Charles from the ESPN, Charles Woodson from the broadcast. You know, but I love him. If you're gonna replace my dude, you got to replace him with a bad dude like that. But these people be so well informed on these teams, and they try to on these players. Let me tell you something. They know you have to be in a war room. I've never been in one, but I've seen a video of the war room. It's that's the room where all the staff get in, and man, they got about 100,000 scenarios. Man, it almost Jimmy would love it because all them numbers, and I don't like to see all that mess up there. You would love it. You would love that room.
Well, and the thing is, I think this year in the draft, I read where because they are, one thing I do like is that they were, I guess, they were wise enough to acknowledge beforehand, just out of preventive maintenance, that there could be some glitches. So that way now, letting you prepare mentally, if you get into that Teddy Riley babyface type stuff, part one, then you're already prepared. They're letting you know, hey, look, basically they're saying we haven't been in this territory before. Since you guys are saying it could be the most watched ever as far as NFL draft, then we're preparing for the overload. We're preparing for glitches. They are even allowing the teams, I've heard, to have a timeout button, meaning because there may be a situation where the wireless provider in your area is not right, so they can have a timeout button which will cease their time between each draft. And how are you familiar with the times? How long they get?
I forgot. I know it, but I don't want to say the wrong number. It's just a certain a time that you have before you have your pick, but you already know who you're gonna pick. You know, especially the first 10 people know, unless something go wrong. Somebody don't take somebody that they thought they was gonna take. The unique thing about it, Jimmy, they practiced it yesterday. I don't know if you know that.
I heard they did with former players.
Yeah, they practiced yesterday, and they had a glitch in the beginning, but after the glitch, it was a 2-minute delay. On the Cincinnati Bengals got the first pick. It's 2-minute delay, and they figured it out. And I mean, it's gonna be unique. Dude, it ain't gonna be Jimmy. It's gonna be just like you and I. Look, I mean, it's going to be just if they got the Jimmy, like I said, if you got the right equipment, everybody might not have the right equipment. I'm sorry. Jimmy, I got a text. The reason I said that, go on, finish, because you felt to finish something. What you got to say?
Not good. I forgot what I had because I had something I was going to. Oh, you know what? I thought about it.
Come on.
It's a good question.
All right.
And it's related to football because a while ago you mentioned about the people knowing who they're going to pick already in this upgoing, and they have scenarios in place because I'll get to a point where things start to get, you got plan B, then you might have plan C, then I'm talking about if you like at pick number 10, you might have plan D, but those guys that are pick number, you down to pick number 30, pick number 25, you got to have plan K, plan J. Plans N, O, P, all that goes in effect the lower down you are. Now, here's a question. And I'm taking this, relating this to football. I noticed that I'm going to the last dance, but I'm coming back to football. Remember when the Scottie Pippen was talking about his draft? They were talking about the draft. Remember he got picked by the Seattle Sonics. Mm-hmm. Or who was it? Yeah, I think that's who picked him first. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. But remember they interviewed, the owner said we had made that deal last night.
Yeah.
The day before.
That happens all the time.
And understand.
Yeah.
Scotty, when they told him you got the wrong hat on, Scotty he looked up, you could tell that element of surprise was really there. He was like, oh, really? He was like, okay. And next thing you know, he segued into the Bulls press conference. Well, my point is, so a lot of those guys know in advance, and a lot don't. I'm thinking about the Rashard Lewis thought he knew in advance.
Yeah.
In basketball.
Three teams said they were going to draft him in the first round and didn't. And hold up. Your Houston Rockets had 2 picks in the first round and didn't pick him with neither one of them. Your Houston Rockets. The ones without James Harden.
Hey, they want to stop and give some props. Guys, you guys know, and you got to know watching the Chop Shop. I, by no means, that's the football guru right there, yonder. Now, I just go with the flow, and I'm rooting like you guys. I did not know that C.D. Lamb was from H-Town.
I didn't either.
C.D. Lamb is from Foster High School.
If I had have known that, I'd have been over there at Foster High School. and Jimmy, and hope whoever know him for it being ballers, tell him, hey, if he needs some advice, if he need get in contact with me. Because I just don't want him. I just don't want. Let me explain something. The reason I'm saying that for it being ballers, not as an opportunity for me, but an opportunity that Robert Hatter just do not want another black athlete to retire without any money. Okay, I don't. And Jimmy, I keep giving people these numbers, and sometimes we talking about high school basketball players are terrible at math. Sometimes football players are terrible at math. Let me show you something, Jimmy. I used to tell people when I sit in a meeting with them, especially if I'm talking to a young black man, I said, man, I said, I got 3 numbers for you. Get a piece of paper, let's write it down. I said, 70, I told him 78. He said, he wrote it down. I said, write 78%. He said, why you say that, Mr. Hatter? I said, 78% of all football players, all of them, NFL football players, retire after 2 years removed from their sport. That means not getting a check. Bankrupt, divorced, unemployed. 78%. Y'all keep looking at them. Larry Fitzgeralds and all of them guys of the world. More of them don't. They're getting a little bit smarter lately, okay? So he said, okay, 70. I said, 78% of them, all of them. I said, guess what? I said, what color are you, young man? He said, I'm black. I said, 92% of the black players, after 2 years removed from their sport, are financially destitute. He said, oh, wow. He said, yeah. So that means when you watch the TV, when it ever come back on, 9 out of every 10 that you see, they don't do the right things, gonna be in bad shape. So then I said, what last number, Jimmy, was 0. He said, what's the 0 for, Mr. Hatter? He said, the 0, what's up, Soapbox Heroes? The 0 is for the number of guys that went with us and stayed with us. That's the percentage of them that's broke. None of them. All of them millionaires right now. So all I'm saying is, when you look at this thing, always look who represent them. When you looked at the Scottie Pippen thing, first thing everybody asked me, they was texting me, Jimmy, because I was on a conference call. I couldn't answer the phone. Who represent him? Who represent him? Who represent him? And it matters. But always remember now, let me give you all a big secret here. I can give Scottie Pippen all the advice that I can give him, but it's his money. Jim, I'm going to repeat that. It's his money. I can't make him not go buy 10 Rolls Royces. All I can do is advise him and hope he listen to me. All I do is, Jimmy, tell him, hey, we got a plan. I said, how much money you think you need to live off? I don't know. I just want to hear what they said. How much money you think you need to live for month to month? Let's get that number. Okay. All right. Let's say $5,000 a month, $10,000, whatever. Now look here, man. Next month, if you go over this now, next month we're gonna deduct that because we on a savings plan and an investment plan that requires that money to be growing for you instead of you're messing it off. So if you have a surplus, you can take it over, or you can do whatever you want with the surplus. So you just got to break it down to him, Jimmy. I told you, Jimmy, I had an athlete, very rich, Dexter Young. Hey, Coach Leah, very rich, Jimmy, I messed around. And his financial guy, that's why I like to know the financial guy. I don't want him to be my friend, but I want to know, because I want to see them things. He sent me a thing. This guy was spending $30,000 per month flying women in.
That's a lot of side pieces.
$30,000 a month flying.
You got front, back, and side pieces.
Hold up. He was just flying them in last minute, get them out. Shit, he'll have one at the, hold up. He'll have his guy taking one to the airport and one getting, and one time the plane canceled on this one. She wanted to come back and he couldn't bring her back because the other one was getting off the plane. I mean, all kind of stuff like that. Jimmy, I came in and said, come here, man. Come here, play. I said, man, you can't do that, man. He did it 1 month, and I caught it. I said, man, you can't do that, man. Well, man, I don't know no girls here. I'm young. I don't get out. I can't go out. I said, hey, homeboy, you better find you somebody. I'll find you one. Homeboy, $30,000 a month times 12. When I explained that number to him times 12, he didn't do it for 1 month. Jimmy, it opened his eyes. Maybe I got to get some game and catch me a girl here. It's cheaper to get you a girl in your city. Y'all notice I haven't said no names, but that's what goes on, young people and mamas and daddies. And mamas and dads, you'll never know because you're not there. That's why some of them guys don't want you there with them. Mama, you can come here and stay with me for a little bit, but we're gonna get you a house. So it's a unique situation. I mean, I don't even know how we got there, Jimmy, but these the guys, it's Jimmy, and these NFL guys, they the worst. Because you got to realize don't nobody know them. They wear a helmet. So they got to do extravagant stuff to get noticed. They got to buy the biggest chain. They got to get the biggest car. They got to do everything to be noticed. Because the girl.
You know why?
What?
You know why?
No.
You know why?
Why?
Take the sports out of the equation. Take the sports out of the equation. Mm-hmm. Put it like this. This is my best way to analyze my best Hicksism for this comparison. Let's say you're in the 9th grade. It's the first day of school, right? There are no rankings. Nobody knows who you are. And two football players walk in the room. The quarterback and the lineman. Both of them got on flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt, and a snug fit t-shirt. Which one you think will attract the eyeballs of the young ladies in the room? Which that's just what it is, how it goes.
And they got to pay. They got to pay.
Those football guys, those linemen, they know. And then they got a helmet on. You don't even know their face. That's you can't see their face anyway. They couldn't get diddly. It wasn't for the sport. It's different in basketball.
Yeah.
Because it ain't many that are built like the linemen. Now there's some linebackers, but not many built like linemen that last all the way through in basketball. I put it real nicely. I tried to.
Jim,
but I put it.
Quit body shaming. Quit body shaming. No, I'm just. But you know what? It's just. All I'm doing, man, is a lot of people don't know this. They don't understand this because a lot of other agents don't care. I'm gonna just tell the truth. A lot of people, because guess what? When I finish with you, I'm going to get the next one. You know, the guy who represented Scottie Pippen also represented Vanna Maxwell. Sadell Threet, that same guy, and he's still representing coaches right now. But he's with a company that's so big, and people think it's him, but it's the company behind him. But when people get to talking on Twitter, and I just said, bless their little heart. I wish they know. And the agent happened to be, the reason I know it so well, the agent is from my hometown, you know? And Jimmy, and like I tell people, and I don't know if I said it on the show yesterday, Jimmy, Scottie Pippen had a chronic, terrible back injury. Okay? When he about to sign that deal. Okay? He knew it. The people knew it. That's why Jerry Reinsdorf wasn't looking out for him. Jerry Reinsdorf knew that back was messed up, y'all. Okay? I'm just trying to help you. Scotty was nervous because he knew the situation he had at home. And then he was from the little small town, y'all. Y'all can't expect for him to know this stuff. That's why it's very wise for you to get them around people that might understand where they came from. I'm trying to be politically correct right here. You have to get them around people that, Scotty was hurt real bad, Jimmy. That's why he signed that deal. But Jimmy, and back to you, because I remember you said something about Michael. And you got to understand when you said Michael threw him under the bus. And I understand that take. Some people take that take. But these same people did not, hold on, negotiate Michael Jordan's deal either. Michael had to play with that deal. He had to, Jimmy. Jimmy, Michael was the reason the league sold. You remember I told you. What's I used to say? One of my favorite things I said, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, they saved the league. Okay? Michael Jordan made it global, and LeBron James made it mobile. Look, Michael Jordan, Jimmy, it was between that time and 1991. Go back and look at the revenue of the TV. It jumped. But you got to understand, Jerry Reinsdorf heritage is a Jew. They don't want to give you no money. Whatever you negotiate now, that's all I'm going to give you. That's all I'm going to give you. I don't say minority, Jimmy, no more. I said black. I said,
No, I was talking, that's
okay.
the conversation
That's
going with Alfio.
Okay, my bad.
I'm saying that Alfio was a lineman at University of Texas back in the day for football. And the conversation back minutes ago, okay. Alfio say, listen, want to give y'all some clarity out there. Alfio, I ain't never had no problem, getting the captain of the cheerleaders, in my day.
Yeah. But Jimmy,
you part of the minority, Jimmy, not the majority.
Jimmy, that's always exceptions. Charles Woodson, perfect example, Jimmy. Jimmy, this guy used to come here to Houston, right? I've never seen it. Y'all, don't tell him I told y'all that. When he come to Houston, came here to train. He come every summer. He came here to train, hang out with me. So he came. He go get him a rental car. Jimmy, he get the most unassuming rental car in the world. Might be a town, I don't know, whatever the kind, unassuming. He didn't wear no jewelry. He wore a nice watch. He wore one earring right here. But Jimmy, he told me, he said, man, I'm not about to do all that stuff for the catch no girl. He said, but he was blessed enough like Alfio. He said, they already like me. That was back then. April, in case you watching, his wife, that was way back then when he was young. He hadn't met you yet. So in case April is watching right now. But I mean, it was he was a different guy. This was a guy, check this out, ladies and gentlemen, because we got new fans. I told this story before. Jimmy, Charles was one of the few guys. Charles, in 4 years, Charles never bought himself a car. Hold up. For 4 years in the league, Charles never bought himself.
He took those owners from the dealerships, those leases and owners that they get.
No, he bought his mama a car, bought his cousin a car. He didn't own one. He went, guess what? When the season started, they give him one out there. Soon as the season over, he park it at the airport and get on and come back home. Then his cousin drive him around. For 4 years, this guy I've never seen nothing like it. But if you see him, then when you go and look at how he's living now, you will understand. He was playing the long game. He listened. And go up and guess up. And guess what, Melvin dudes? Hey, he grew up dirt poor. Jimmy, he was my assistant coach when Robin and them was in the Little League. In the summer, playing with Little League. He was my assistant coach. Everybody used to like, how the hell he got that dude on the bench coaching with him? So Jimmy, it was so funny. He was telling them kids one day, he said, man, y'all need to go home and thank y'all parents. He said, because when I showed up to the YMCA trying to play, he said, I made the team, but when they told me it was a fee, I knew my mama didn't have it. I said, I'll holler at y'all later. He said, I didn't have it. He said, y'all got to be thankful. He was telling my whole little old team, all the little team, little privileged kids on my team, all of them. He said, man, y'all better go hug y'all mom and dad. Because would have played basketball, but I didn't have no money. But I just wanted to share that. with everybody, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking at Boom Room. Shout out to you guys. Of course, we're expecting to be joined shortly by Kendrick Perkins. We're going to have a great combo. You guys, if you guys know Perk, and it is never a dull moment with him. And this is an opportunity for us as a community to shower him for his recent success. Not every day a guy can surge through the rigors of NBA as an NBA analyst and as fastly as Perk did it.
Yes.
And understand,
yes.
Now, we're talking about a non-all-star. Mm-hmm. Most of the guys you see on that screen as an analyst were former all-stars in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Perk is part of the he's not part of the majority when it comes to that aspect. So you have to realize it wasn't easy. And so speaking right on cue. He got his lead on.
Hey man, take your lead off, man.
Hold on. We got Kendrick Perkins in the house. Perk. I'm gonna show you some Fifth Ward stuff.
Okay.
You get that thing and just dip it over to the side just a little bit.
Like this.
I got to
put it down on your head. You got to put it on down. That way, there you go. Now, oh my God! You know what? Kayla, I know you got an 8-track over in that box on the side of you. Put an 8-track in some Curtis. Put some Curtis Mayfield on right now.
Jimmy, if it's old, if it's old, I throw it out, baby.
Well, we got Kendrick Perkins, man. What's going on, Perk?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? I'm finally on the Chop Shop, man. I'm loving this. What's going on?
Hey, man. And we're going to ask you guys out there at the time, if you're watching on YouTube and or Facebook, share the show right now with your timelines and your friends. We got to have one hell of a good combo with Kendrick Perkins. And we're going to take a time out right now to acknowledge, as we were doing before you came on, and let you know, Perk, that as a community, we are extremely proud of you and your accomplishments then and now throughout as a result of the sport of basketball. I've watched you. I've known you since about since the 9th grade when I first met you. And we are proud of you as a community. And before the show is over with, a lot of the viewers out there will have expressed their thoughts. You'll be able to go back and watch the show on either platform, and you'll see all those comments. That's the good thing about when you rewatch the Chop Shop. You can see the comments, and you'll be able to reply to somebody when you watch it again. That's the thing. That's how we roll. That's Haller. Look at Haller. He's what we call. He's on the ones and twos right now. He's spinning over there. He getting it all together. Look at got his head turned backwards and everything.
I'm hooking up something for. I got to put my man's name up under his thing, man. I had to put his graphic up under there.
That's Jeff. I'm the Fresh Prince of this thing right now. Now, question number one. Perk, how the hell your kids rack up $16,000 on the credit card on Fortnite?
Please.
Hey, listen. First of all, I gotta thank y'all, man, for having me on, man. This is one thing about it, man. You know, Mr. Hicks, I really praise you, man. You know, man, from day one, you always been a supporter of mine, even down there in the country, Beaumont, Texas. I know you probably, I know you probably caught a lot of heat when you used to rake me around this Houston area. And Rob, man, you know it's nothing but love, man. And I appreciate what you guys are doing with the Chop Shot and what y'all do with the whole recruitment and the whole area as far as Texas and the relationships that y'all got in this basketball world and what y'all provided in this basketball community. But, you know, I dropped my guards, man, when it came down to my children. You know, I don't play video games, and so, you know, all their game room and their bedrooms are upstairs. Okay. I don't really go upstairs that much.
Okay.
And I know they play the game, and so what happened is that I you know, the iCloud or whatever it is all tied to one, like a family tie. So they were able to connect and link the credit card to the Fortnite game, and you know, so one night a credit card that I barely use, it's one night I'm laying in the bed watching TV with my wife, and I, you know, decided I'm living the retired life, and you know, I'm like, you know what? I need me a pint of cookies and cream ice cream, you know? So I decided to hit the Stripes that's up the street. I'm going to Stripes. I say, well, let me just grab my credit card real quick because I might get me a Big Red and something else too because I'm snacking. We watching movies and chilling.
Right.
I get there and the woman's, I put the card in the chip reader and
Right.
it declined. And I'm like, what? I just paid this about 5, 6 days ago, and I haven't used it. I know it couldn't decline. It got a $15,000 limit, but I never go over it. And
Right.
what's going on? So I get back, I call the people, and they like, your credit card is maxed out at $16,100, and I'm like, from what? And I'm like, is it fraud or what's going on? They was like, no, Mr. Perkins, you got iTunes charges for Fortnite, 200 here, 200 there, 400 here, and I'm like, what? So I go upstairs, I wake up my kids, I'm like, what's going on? They like, I'm like, man, I just got my credit card bill. Y'all running up this Fortnite, and each one of them get the point in the finger. Both of my sons. No, it was him. It was him. Yeah, he got all the skins. No, he have all the skins, and I'm like, what are skins? What the hell is going on? What are skins? And I'm come to find out it's something that you got to buy for Fortnite, man. It was the craziest thing in the world. I ended up getting my money back though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can get
because they have some type of rule that, basically these kids, in order for them to be purchasing that type of stuff, you got to be over the age of 16. And so after a couple of times of them buying things and they reach a certain limit, they were supposed to send security questions and, cut it off. But I got mad at my credit card people because I'm like, how you let this happen?
Right.
At Bank of America,
Right. That's good.
Man.
But you know what, Perk? I ain't gonna lie. When I heard the story, I called one of my matter of fact, one of the top basketball players in the city, little young cat. And I called him, I said, hey man, how much money you can spend on this thing? Can you spend a lot of money? He said, yeah, Mr. Adder, you can. I said, how much you done spent? He said, I done spent about 1,000.
What?
Yeah.
I said, he said some
Really?
skins. I said, what the hell is a skin?
Right.
What is a skin?
I still don't know.
I still don't know. I just know. See, that's the trick. See, Fortnite, they give you the game is free. See, you could download and get the game for free, and then the trick is, in order to keep advancing or winning in the game, you got to purchase different things, and this is why the game of Fortnite set records last year
For money.
over $1 billion in sales because you have to buy the skins and all the stuff to play the game.
I don't want to play that game.
I don't want it in my house.
Man, and so of course,
Jimmy, you stole my question. I was going to ask that question. You stole it. Jimmy stole my question.
Wait, go on. You get the next question.
No. That was the best. That was my best one.
we dive and talk some hoops and take a blast to the end up with a blast to the past in this conversation. We'll start off with the NBA. And of course, this past weekend, The Last Dance. 6.1 million viewers. For The Last Dance. As expected, it pretty much was a home run. And what were your thoughts from part one and part two?
Man, during that time, I was, around that time, I was young. I'm 5, 6 years old, so I don't really, I'm watching the game. I don't remember those moments. So I'm waiting on The Last Dance because, y'all know, like I know, when we hear the great Michael Jordan speak at any given time, it's like it's like that good church music that Granny and Pawpaw used to put on Sunday mornings before you get ready to go to church. That good gospel music, man. It's music to your ears.
Yeah.
When Michael Jordan takes the floor, so I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to hear it. I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. I want to know what type of person MJ was, what type of teammate. And the first thing came to mind was that this guy is a savage on the court. Oh my God. Like the first thing come to my mind is killer. Like this guy is a killer. Like the killer mentality. But see, besides the 63 points, the foot injury, the 49 points and all that, You know what was my biggest takeaway from that whole situation was Michael Jordan upbringing. I thought his mother Dolores, I thought it was so beautiful, and that's all I gotta say. She
Yeah.
was beautiful
Yeah.
for so well spoken and so educated, and then how he was raised. You could tell his daddy was one of those firm fathers in that household where he was raising boys to be men.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
sir.
it wasn't no holding back, and I think that laid the foundation for Michael Jordan. Like he said, like going out there and have to compete against his brothers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But from that's what I got from it from the jump. I'm like, hold on, man, this kind of touched home because when you grow up under that type of structure, it's like, oh man, his mama well educated, beautiful lady, and then all of a sudden you see his dad is a firm father, like. Nah, you ain't getting it done. Go in the house, boy. Like that type of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I got.
I like that. You know what's so unique? I think you're right. That's what made him strong. Think about it, y'all. His brother Larry, because I know the story. See, Turk, I was blessed to be in that era because I worked with the company that represent Penny, right? So I was always around this. I mean, I told these guys the stories of when I used to get to the gym. When we get to the gym, Penny, if I'm on the road, I'll go and meet him early at the gym. Michael's already in the gym before everybody, working on one particular shot on the elbow. And when he needed that shot, Perk, in the game, when he needed a bucket, he go right there because he prepared for it. But
mid-range.
His daddy was hard on him. His brother Larry used to whoop him if he beat him. He had struggle when he was young. Mama was the balance.
Right.
Cause them dudes was hard on him, man. And check this out. Then he go to North Carolina. Then he had to go go into Worthy when he first got there. Then he go to Jared Krause. He was a butthole. Jerry Reinsdorf, he was a butthole. He went through Stan Alback, Doug Collins, and all of them coaches. Michael, people don't understand. Y'all gonna see in the next 10. He went through some stuff to make him think about how innocent he was when he went up there. He go in the room, Bert, and saw all that stuff going on in the room.
Right.
He had to wear it all. My daddy will kill me if I get caught in this mess. So it's just unique, man. I love it. Perk, and I found something out. I want to share this with you, man. About how cold Michael was. Because I know you on the LeBron train. I forgot you was a youngster. I know you like LeBron. But they told me it was talking about Michael Jordan's brand, right? Mm-hmm. And he has to have the greatest brand in American sports history. Okay? I'm going to show you what.
That's the truth.
I looked at last year's shoe sales. Jimmy, Perk, LeBron shoe sales, KD, Steph, Kobe, Harden, Kyrie, Damon Lillard, all of those guys combined and sold 129 million pairs of shoes. All those guys, I'll just name all of them. Michael sold 130 million by himself.
Woo. Now that's the pairs of shoes, not shoe sales. Yeah. That's the pairs of shoes.
Pairs of shoes.
Wow.
No, Jimmy, you ain't hear me. All of them put together. You didn't hear me. All of those guys put together. Let me call them names out one more time for you, because somebody might have missed it, Perk. KD, Steph, Kobe, Harden, Kyrie, Damon Lillard. All of them together, put in one pot, was 129. Michael Jordan, 130 million. Come on, Kurt.
Guess what, Rob? Guess what, Jim? Hey, I probably was the one that put Jordan over the top, because that's all my closet is filled of. Hey, listen.
Wait a minute, really?
I don't wear nothing else but Jordan. Hey, J's on my feet. J's are on my feet at all times.
Okay, with that coming, wow. I got a good question. I got a good. I was gonna say this question for later on because we were gonna transition from the NBA down in the blast to the past.
Right.
So I gotta move this question over. I gotta call an audible at the line of scrimmage. I'm gonna call her.
No, Jimmy, right now. Jimmy, 20-second timeout.
Hey, when you were in high school, Beaumont Ozane. First of all, that summer before your 12th grade year. Well, of course, all your 3 years. Well, you went 4 years there, but you went to the state championship, the state tournament. What? 4 times, right?
Just 3.
3 times. 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Well, check this out. As I recall, you guys played in the Academy National Invitational, which was hosted by Hal Passner back in the days at the Campbell Center, right?
Yeah.
And if I recall during the negotiation, because my relationship with Nike, you guys were the only team that did not either was independent or was not Nike. Meaning you guys in Beaumont, you guys had Adidas everything.
Right.
And do you remember y'all were in the Texas division? They had a national division and a Texas division. Y'all won the Texas division, right?
I remember.
Do you remember what y'all had to do before y'all played in that event that weekend to y'all uniforms?
We had to put tape over the logo.
Y'all had to put tape over. What was the logo?
It was the Adidas logo. We had to put tape over. I do remember.
Had to put tape on the logo back then. And my point is, you were what they called an Adidas baby, because that's what the slang back when you're a young man. They call you a Nike baby or Adidas baby, meaning you were one of their golden child,
right?
The high school ranks. You were one of the guys that they projected to go to the NBA straight out of high school because they could back then. So my point is with this. You had Adidas, and everybody around you had Adidas everything. After you came through, the next baby they had was TJ Ford. That was 2 seasons later. And we're going to get into that later on. But how did you fall out of love with Adidas? At what point did the love turn to business and you woke up and say, wait a minute, man, I've been loving these people. Tell me about what year was it, or how old were you when you woke up? Because they know everybody, most kids and young men are asleep. They know it. When was it for you?
So when we look back, it all started with Nike from the jump. Hal Passner, Houston Hoops. That was the first upbringing. Nikes. All of a sudden, what changed me, what made me change over to Adidas was when I first touched down at ABCD camp. Okay, so when I went to ABCD camp, that's when it was about Adidas. Because my first time going to ABCD camp, I left out of that camp, and I was the #1 player coming out of that camp. I made my mark there. Over LeBron, over Lenny Cook, over Dwight Howard. I left there after it was my sophomore year going into my junior year. When I left that camp that year, that summer, I was the #1 player leaving out of that camp. I tore that camp up. I led it in every statistical category, and all of a sudden, a guy by the name of Sonny Vaccaro came into my life. You know this, right? Sonny Vaccaro, the great Sonny Vaccaro. He comes in, and all of a sudden, I become an Adidas baby. I mean, Adidas, they come in, and all of a sudden, it's the uniforms that we get, all whatever it is. They sponsoring us, and it carried over. And so, as I'm graduating high school and doing the draft workout, Sonny Vaccaro is a big piece of this, is a big piece to the puzzle of helping me getting into the NBA. And next thing I know, he recommends the agents that I signed with, and on tell them, with Adidas come to me first and offer me a contract. And for about 8 years, in 8 years, I was signed under Adidas. because at that point in time now, it's not about what you want to wear. It's not about what's your favorite shoe. It's about the endorsement. It's about the endorsement. It's about the money. They paying you to wear this, and it's all new to me. So I'm like, well, if they paying me to wear this, I'm gonna wear these shell toes all day, every day. Now here's the funny story. So I'm being slick. I got my Jordans on one day, and I just go to the game with my Jordans on. I don't think nothing of it. I'm thinking because I'm signed with Adidas that all I got to do is wear Adidas on the court, you know, and or if I'm doing a magazine or whatever, I got to wear my Adidas stuff. But if I'm in my regular life, I could throw me on a pair of Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s. Man, I walk out the locker room after the game, and I run dead and smack into the Adidas rep. And he said, Perk, what you got going on? I said, nothing, what's going on? He said, oh, you got Jordans on your feet? He said, all right, I ain't gonna tell nobody this time, but let's not let it happen again. I say, oh, this is serious. So when my Adidas contract was up, when I got to Oklahoma City, my first year, my contract was coming up and my Adidas contract, my shoe deal was up. And Jordan reached out and Adidas wanted to still pay me some money to wear their shoes. Jordan didn't want to pay me any money. All he said was that we're going to supply you with all the Jordans, all the merchandise. You know, I left Adidas and went straight to Jordan. The money, I didn't even care about the money no more. I wanted J's on my feet. I wanted J's on my feet, and I kept it that way for about 2 years. I just switched all the way over to Nike because Jordan eventually ended up dropping me, but I still wasn't in my feelings. I still had Jordans coming in, but I left Adidas and left money on the table just to wear Jordans in the apparel and wasn't getting paid a dime. I just wanted the Jordan material.
I like
wow.
that. I like that.
Hey,
I like
got
that.
some.
No, I mean, it was unique that I'm one person who don't have not one pair of Jordans in either of my closets nowhere. Hold up now.
What?
I bought them.
Hey,
hold up.
You know, Haller wear the sandals with the socks on. You know what I'm saying? He got all the people that's back in Memphis.
KP, this is what happened, man, right? Now my son got them. Don't get it twisted. That's different. But I'm talking about me. See what happened with Jordans, when the Jordans, everybody started liking them, that's when I was representing Penny. I had to wear Penny shoes.
Right.
I couldn't be walking around with somebody else's shoes. I get fired. So
yeah, that was competition.
Yeah, that was a steep competition. So, like I gave them people a analogy yesterday. That's just like me working at Coors, and I get off and go go to the store and buy me a Budweiser. That's not gonna happen. So I've just never, cause I ain't gonna play in them, and they too bulky for me. I mean, y'all young, man. I like to put on shoes. I like to put on track shoes. You know, I want to be a little more sleeker. So that's why I just never wore Jordans. You know, I mean, I just never wore them. But I take my hat off to you because I see it's a culture out there, people. You said, hey, man, Adidas, I've been with y'all, but I'm finna spend all this Adidas money anyway on these Jordans because I'm going to buy me some.
Right.
So I might as well be a part of the company and let them come to me. I figured out a way to get some more money. And that's what it seemed like you did.
Well, J's is your Fortnite skins. That's what it is for you, boss. That's true. So now, Perk, back in those days, you mentioned about Sonny Vaccaro. You met Sonny Vaccaro. Now you served up the scene back in those early days. And your last summer, right? Because you played for the Houston Hoops, 9th and 10th grade summers. That 11th grade summer, you stunned the entire community. That was summer 2002.
What did he do?
By opting not to play at all for a local sneaker grassroots team. Who and how did you make that decision?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Well, so it was my decision by choice because I chose. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to ABCD camp, and that's it. And this whole summer, I'm about to train and work my tail off because I knew that my goal was it was bigger than the AAU. I'm like, what more at that point in time could AAU really do for me? At the AAU circuit, like at that time, you was kind of cemented. Like I wasn't really dropping below top 10, and I wasn't
I got
go
you.
get the #1 spot either from LeBron King James. That just wasn't happening. So at the end of the day, it didn't matter if I went the AAU circuit and averaged 40. But here's the kick. See, this is the thing people don't realize about this whole situation. And see, I love Hal because Hal gave me that opportunity with the Houston Hoops from day one, right?
Okay.
Embraced me with open arms. I spent nights at Hal passing the house. But here's the thing, it came a little conflict that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
Now, if you know about me, my high school coach, Coach Andre Butte, was a huge factor in my life. I mean, he
I
took
heard
me under
about it.
his wing since day one. And what ended up happening was that, at that point in time, Josh was trying to get a coaching job in college, okay? And
Mm.
and they had an article that came out that was saying, yeah, Josh was the mentor to Kendrick Perkins. He coached Kendrick Perkins and did this, and it wasn't facts. It wasn't facts because Josh was never my coach.
Daryl Shepard was your summer grassroots coach with the Hoops.
Yes, Daryl Shepard was my coach with the Houston Hoops. Never was Josh Pastner. And so
Mm.
when I read that article, because I felt some type of way for the simple fact that I felt like the article wasn't authentic and it wasn't genuine. The article wasn't authentic and it wasn't genuine because I felt like I was being used to Josh's expense for him to get a job. So I said, you know what? I'm a backup. I'm not gonna play AAU for that circuit. But the only team I did play a tournament with, and you remember this, y'all remember?
At John Uri event with the
Yep,
Oakland Soldiers.
was the Oakland Soldiers
With LeBron.
with LeBron and Leon Pope.
And y'all tore his knee up.
Tohu
Yep.
Nia.
Ask Pope to tell you.
Yeah,
Best Leon Pope career.
yeah. Leon did tear his ACL, but yeah, he did. It was heartbreaking because I think that was his second time in his high school career tearing his ACL up. But that was a fun time. But that was the story on why I did not play AU, especially that summer. Those were the reasons why.
And you know what's so unique, Perk? On the outside, like Jimmy, the way he asked you that question, it feels like you had some outside influence. But you just said, look here, man, I know where I'm at. You were a young kid, realized who you were, and realized your power you had, and you exercised.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What happened,
He
Jimmy?
calling the 20-second timeout.
Give me a 20. Alan.
What?
KP, we give him credit.
Uh-huh.
You got the producer and you got the executive producer.
Oh, he had an executive producer.
Coach Butte, you see why he slickly gave him the credit.
But
Coach Butte.
No, that's different, Jimmy. That's different. That's different. High school coach, that's different. I thought no outside, no other person. High school coach, he's supposed to help him.
Coach Butte had as many jogging suits as John Uri did, as he mentioned he had in his garage. They had the garage stocked up with boxes. And so Perk know what I'm talking about.
No lies are being told. But you know what though? See what a lot of people don't realize is this. I was a guy, I lost my mom at an early age. So I was raised by my grandparents. So I always was around, great aunties, great uncles. I didn't have very many friends. If you know me, my circle was small, so I was always around older guys. So I always had a lot of knowledge because I had an old soul. But Hicks hit that right on the number when he called that 20 seconds. Because I ain't gonna lie. Hey, listen, the effect that Coach Butte had on me, man, he could tell me go run through a wall, and I know it's an old saying, but I'll go run through it and believe nothing would happen to me, and knowing I might kill myself.
Now, speaking of Coach Butte and your Bowman Ozan team, but we riding the KP, we rolling. Hey, I told you we'll take a blast to the past. You ain't had a see. It's the difference between an interview and a conversation.
Yeah.
See, a conversation like this in a long time, sometimes it's therapeutic because a lot of people they want to talk about other stuff, and we bringing it back to the core to let the people understand how you were built on the inside. As you just stated, the community raised you in Beaumont. The Pear Orchard. That's what they call it, Hatter.
Yeah.
Today.
Pear Orchard, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you understand, those times were during the UGK days. That's when the front was on the city. So all this was going on, even though that's Port Arthur, but they all sister, brother communities.
You say, hold up, Jim.
Hey, Jim. Hey, hold on right now, man. I'm going to have to change your name to Jim Yates, man, because you speaking the gospel right now. Hold on now. Hold on now.
That's what I'm talking about. Smashed up the gray one and bought me a red. You understand what I'm saying? I just dropped some Pimp C on you real quick, but now, Bowman Ozan, Alan, I wish you were in Houston, but I'm talking about around in order to walk in the gymnasium. It was a Saturday morning during the early November of this year 2000 and of the year 2000. Once again, the year 2000, the first Saturday at Cashmere High School. That was a scrimmage that took place.
Uh-oh.
The scrimmage was Bowman Ozan and Willery.
Whoa.
Skype, wasn't no Twitter, wasn't no Facebook. Nobody knew. Nobody got to see it live. Wasn't no.
Wait, Jimmy, time out. Jim, I got a tweet. The TJ Ford real is?
Yes.
Okay, come on.
This Saturday morning. So Cashmere High School, which the Mighty Rams are, that's my old school. I mean, it's right around the corner. So right. I'm there. It was an early scrimmage, like 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So we were all up in there, and it was highly anticipated. Both teams had went to the state tournament, 2001. No. This was that Beaumont Willowridge was fresh off the tournament. They had just had Auburn Carter.
We had lost in the regional finals.
Yes, you guys had lost in the regional finals. And this was that year, that particular season, both Ozan and Willowridge ended up winning state that year.
Mm-hmm.
That year, in their respective classifications. Kendrick Perkins in the 10th grade, TJ Ford was in, and Daniel Ewan and Kenny Taylor and all those guys were in the 12th grade. You guys had to scrimmage that. Now, mind you, the scrimmage, if I'm not mistaken, was on the SAT or an ACT morning. So Willowridge, maybe a player or two, were not there when you guys started the scrimmage. I do remember that.
Right.
You guys did not play a complete game. It was a one half.
It was one half.
I got it right here. I see you. So now, after that game, Willowridge came and had, I'm going to tell you what happened. Willowridge entered the game with the same thought process. It felt like back on the movie Rocky, when Apollo Creed was getting ready to fight the Russian, and that Russian was serious as hell, and Apollo was in there dancing.
Drago,
living in America, and he was dancing and everything, and that Russian whooped his ass. But that's what it. Willowridge walking there didn't take it with the seriousness and the urgency of Beaumont Ozan. Now, had you guys tell us about that scrimmage? How were you guys really prepared? Well, did y'all treat it like a real game for those 2 quarters, or y'all just lollygagging along?
So this how it was. People didn't realize and didn't understand that we idolized Willow Ridge. Like, like like you said, it wasn't social media. It wasn't Instagram, Twitter, and all this where you were able to see different things. No, it was just either you had the Beaumont Enterprise, USA Today, or you had the Houston Chronicle. And goddamn it, we got the Houston Chronicle. And we knew everything. See, this what people don't understand. They need to do a documentary on that Willow Ridge team. Like, I'm talking about that team and what those Daniel Ewing, TJ Ford, Ivan McFarland, Kenny Thomas, all those guys, what they did at that time. You too, Jim Hicks. Yeah, they need to do a 30 for 30 on that whole, you covering TJ. You actually, let me tell you something. Hey, Hatter, listen to this.
I want to hear.
Jim Hicks put Willow Ridge on the national map. You understand? This, I'm telling you.
Wait a minute, John Urich told me he did.
Man, listen, I'm telling you something that's coming out of my mouth. This ain't no he say. I'm telling you what's happening.
Okay.
So that team deserved a 30 for 30. Okay. We were fans of that team. Like, they didn't understand that. We idolized them. I used to get the Houston Chronicle and read about TJ Ford, Daniel Ewing, Ivan McFarland getting 21 rebounds in a game. That was that. How they selling out crowds. They couldn't even play at the high school no more because the attendance level was so high.
Okay.
So this was a genius move by Coach Butte. He said, you know what? This team I got, I think we're really good. I think we're going to win state. So what he did was he used Willow Ridge in the scrimmage just for a half. And we took that bus ride down here to Houston, Texas, and we were so focused. He put on the pit bull fight on the bus. It was a pit bull fight.
Right.
We watched.
So y'all watched the pit bull fight on the way down.
We watching the pit. This no lie. We watching the pit bull fight. This our focus. We focus, but we kind of nervous and scared at the same time because this is Willow Ridge.
Okay.
Man, we approaching this like this the state championship. I ain't lying. That's how we approach that game. And man, he gave us a pregame speech before the scrimmage that this team is what they talking about, and this is what the measuring stick. And what we did was we came out and we punched them in the mouth. We didn't give them a chance to have a second half. We wanted to beat them the first half. But what Willow Ridge don't understand and what the people don't know is that half, that scrimmage against Willow Ridge is the reason we won state. Because once we beat them in that half, we was like, ain't nobody else in 4A messing with us. We about to beat everybody we play against because we not going to face nobody else like this Willow Ridge team. And we beat them, and that's why we went on to go 36-0. That set the bar for our season.
Wait a minute. Y'all were a different division? Y'all were different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Willow Ridge was 5A. We was 4A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a question.
Yeah.
Somebody just put it on the Facebook feed. They said, Kendrick, who are your Texas basketball, your Texas Mount Rushmore, the 4 top players in Texas that you're going to put up on that statue?
So here it is, right? So I'm just saying, if we got to sit up here and we got to talk numbers, and we got to go to this extent, that's a tough question.
No, you don't have to.
But
you want to?
Listen. I give you a list of players that I think are all-time great Texas players.
Okay.
You look at TJ Ford.
Okay.
You look at, God rest his soul, the great Alton Ford. You hear me?
Okay.
Alton Ford.
Okay.
You look at Rashard Lewis. Rashard Lewis, what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Rashard Lewis was kind of Kevin Durant, LeBron James before them. He was that 6'10" type wing guy that was
Stretch.
a
Yeah.
small forward.
Right.
All right, and then you look at a guy like, you know, man, the Fox. I mean, the numbers and stuff that the Fox put up during his high school career is unmatched. I mean, you look at Indy Ebby, you look at, you know, myself, Steve Jackson, Chris Bosh, you know, Kenyon Martin. I mean, you look at, hell, we even had Shaq, Daniel
That's
Ewing.
right.
I mean,
I forgot
Texas,
about that.
yeah, I mean, Texas basketball to me, Steven Jackson, you know, B.J. Tyler, Omar Sneed. Omar Sneed from Westbrook High School. Hey, listen, Omar Sneed put in some work. He went to Memphis after going JUCO, and he told Memphis up, but he put some work in high school. I mean, we just talking about the list could go on. I mean, John Lucas. I mean, the list goes on, in my opinion. Tack Minor,
That's a good one.
Daniel Gibson, you know, Lanny Smith. Like we had some players that was coming out in this time, man, in Texas, man. Texas basketball was, you know, been on the rise.
Perfect. I noticed you mentioned a lot of guys in Texas. One guy that I don't recall you mentioning is a guy who sent you home on that bus, and you probably didn't watch a pit bull fight on the way home from Austin that year, and that was Chris Bosh.
I said him.
You said it, Bosh.
Okay.
You said Bosh.
Okay, make sure.
Yeah.
Make sure. Okay.
I
good.
said Chris Bosh.
Okay,
look,
good.
Hey,
Now,
hey. But look, Hicks, one thing I can say is that, hey, Big Perk held his own in that game. Big Perk held his own against Chris Bosh.
Jimmy,
that
were
was
you
the
there?
Dallas Lincoln.
Jimmy,
Yes, I was there. That was in 2002 when Dallas Lincoln had went undefeated and was number one in the country, USA Today. That was Willow Ridge was 2001, and Dallas Lincoln was 2002, and Kendrick Perkins was an 11th grader at that time, and when he lost to Dallas Lincoln in the 12th grade, he lost to Fort Worth Dunbar in the 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
But
and
you went to the state 3 times. How many did you win? One?
You
won
one.
Kendrick.
Yeah,
you froze up over there on me.
Yeah, he gonna come right back.
Yeah, he'll come right back. Yeah.
You know, that's at Beaumont Internet. You know how that stuff going Beaumont.
No, he live in Houston.
Oh, that's why he do it. That's why.
Yeah.
He got a place down. He got a spread down there too. Now we're waiting on KP to get on back with us. We having a blast to the past with Kendrick Perkins. And as you guys are there, man, thanks so much. We're not done yet. Just hang on.
You know, it's
like
he just can come back in.
Back out the driveway and come back in. And we are the Chop Shop for a lot of you first-time viewers. We welcome you to the Chop Shop. We come on, we broadcast Monday through Thursday from 12 to 2 Central Time. And we have a variety of guests that joins us throughout the week. We just little old guys that just talking about sports, and we have a little bit of fun doing it. And as you see, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, this is a great way to fill the gap in your day. Now, when you get back, for those of you who have to go back to work shortly, don't forget the Chop Shop. We still here. This is a way to where you can still watch us live via YouTube and on Facebook. That is Chop Shop. And
he said he's coming back in.
Yeah, he's coming on back in Charlotte. Now let's get to some of you guys. We'll line up some of the questions and some of your comments. If you have some for Kendrick Perkins, we will try our best to get those questions.
Question. Did Herb Younger? Did Herb ever play against Kendrick?
No, Herb is way older than Kendrick.
Okay.
Herb is at least 10.
Okay.
At least.
Herb, I thought you was young, man. My bad, baby.
No, Herb a little bit older than KP. And but those days, guys, were really, really, really. That was the launching of Texas basketball as after the millennium. Remember, the millennium is a new measuring stick. What you got out?
And that was when really what was the launching of RCS Sports, right? Because I remember you always correlated with TJ Ford in this group, and so that was the launching of okay, that's significant, and I'm just glad that Kendrick.
And it was funny because I put out this the other night. I found this. This is the very first issue of the recruiter's cheat sheet. And you guys know this is the nickname that a lot of the college coaches give me, the cheat sheet. This is why they call it, because these little booklets I used to hand out, right? Let me get this thing right so y'all can see it. I used to hand these out for free to the college coaches at all of the events. And you look at the date at the top up here. You see the date. That's 2001.
We can't see that.
First issue. And inside of this booklet, it had all of the top players, you know, the rankings of the players and all that stuff, and what, you know, different info, different intel. And as you know, it's funny because the 2001, this is the year after TJ Ford and Daniel Ewing graduated. This booklet was printed in the spring, in the fall after they had graduated. This one right here. And this is my preseason top high school teams.
Gotcha.
And look at number one.
Beaumont Ozan. Okay.
My preseason number one team.
Who was the second team?
Number two was Hightower, right?
That was Lanny?
That was with Lanny Smith and Michael Unite. And guess what happened? Both of those teams, this before the season started. This in the fall. And guess what they did? Beaumont Ozan went to state that year. Hightower went to state that year. Guess who? Look who was number three.
Who?
Heritage Christian with Jerome Tang.
Yeah, you moving it to you looking at the wrong camera. The wrong camera. Okay.
Heritage Christian.
It's perfect now.
And Heritage Christian with Lamar Hurd and Tim Mays and those guys. You know, they were independent. Nobody gave them any recognition and around the area. But so
what was Gerald Green at around at that time? Oh, he back.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Jim, you start bringing up so much bad information, man. My Skype went out, man.
Hold up. You done went and upgraded that Wi-Fi. You look a lot better now.
That would happen.
You must have moved to another side of the house, Ken, because you're clearer now than you were earlier.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And we have Kendrick Perkins back with us, guys. So now, if you're there right now watching, we're going to continue our blast to the fan. We were talking about the old days, that Beaumont Ozan teams, and how and you know, during at the beginning of the millennium. And now, Kendrick, you mentioned Memphis. I was talking about in your conversation previously. You committed to Memphis. A lot of people didn't realize that. I'm gonna take you guys back. You committed to Memphis. Not only did you commit to Memphis, but your Scottie Pippen of Beaumont Ozan name was Keena Young. Keena Young committed to Memphis as well, right?
I'm getting mad right now.
Listen, we're not gonna even say commit. We signed with Memphis.
No.
Right, sure did. Yeah. Now, who was the coach at Memphis back then?
John Calipari.
I ain't gonna eat. Hey, it's so many questions coming through my mind right now, but I don't want. I don't want to get my university in trouble. I'm from Memphis, and but I don't want to get them in trouble. But Jimmy, go and ask your question.
Now, here's the thing. So here's the thing that I've never asked you this question before, but because I encourage and I enhance for people to be on the up and up with a lot of people. And in this situation, eventually you decided to forego your college career in order to go directly into the NBA. As you said earlier, you had made a decision. That decision was in process during that previous summer by your actions. You was like, well, I got to play in all this stuff. I done much as I can do at this level. Let me go on. Now you start thinking you got to start getting good grades. You went and you played ABCD your last summer. And then it's like, wait a minute, man, I'm gone. So you signed in November. Then you made a decision a couple of months later to go to the NBA. But Keena Young thought his letter of intent was still going to be honored. What did Memphis and Coach Cal do with Keena Young?
Oh man, hey, listen. You know what's crazy? Keena Young and I just got our relationship back about 6 years ago behind this. Wow. Think about this. So what ended up happening was this, okay? You know, this all facts. So
okay.
It's coming time. You know, I'm doing the college visits, and you know you narrowing it down. And you know, I took a college visit to the University of Miami, and then all of a sudden, you know, Texas was on my list. You know, Brad Daugherty at the time came down. North Carolina was on my list, and a guy by the name of Steve Rockefeller, that was the assistant coach for Memphis, for the Memphis Tigers under John Calipari, was at the front door of our gymnasium every single day. And I tell you, when I went on a visit, my first visit with the Memphis Tigers, it was the experience like no other. The way that they treated me, you know, took me down Beale Street with that fresh barbecue, and took me to the Grizzlies game at a time that it wasn't, you know, against the rules and stuff like that. So, you know, and also, you know, was the icing on the cake, the private jet that picked me up from Beaumont, Texas airport, the private jet to Memphis. You know, I'm on a PJ for the first time in my life. Me.
That's how we roll.
Both of y'all look at the camera.
Hey man,
you can proceed. I didn't say nothing. I just was showing y'all this. That was a commercial.
That was a cutaway.
Hey, so you know, KT and I go on a visit out there, right? KT 6'5", we call him KT. His name Keena Young, but we call him KT.
Okay.
He's 6'5", power forward, nice shooting touch. You know, he was a D1 player for sure. Now he was offered by Texas Tech and Bob Knight at the time. Bob Knight was high on him. They wanted Keena Young. Yeah, in a major way. And so my decision wasn't made to go to the NBA yet. I wanted to go to college. And so before the season started, I wanted to be signed before my senior year, and I wanted to be somewhere that I knew would put me in position and prepare me for the NBA. And I thought John Calipari was the best situation for that. He's known for that. He put guys in position to go lottery. That's what he do best, besides win. Okay? So KT, all of a sudden, Memphis like, hey, I'll take both of you guys. Package deal. Let's do it. So KT and I on the private, going to Memphis. We both go on another visit. We down there. We love it. Come to start the season, we both come to agreement. Hey, man, we going to sign with Memphis. We hold us a little press conference down there in Beaumont, Ozan, country-ass Beaumont, Texas. We sign with Memphis. The letter stop. Okay, now we able to play our senior year, you know, with a clear mind, no worries. All of a sudden, you see those NBA, it's a table set up that was set up in Beaumont Ozan gym, at our high school gym. Well, all of a sudden, each game I'm coming out and I'm seeing BJ Armstrong and Sam Presti and Washington Wizards, and you seeing these NBA scouts at your game, you like, hold on, it's getting real. You heard about it. You'll go online and look at the mock draft and you say, oh, yeah, it's real, but let me see it. And all of a sudden you start seeing it in person. So as the season going on, I'm like, you know, KT is asking me, like, man, you going to the NBA? And I'm like, nah, man, like, we going to college. And when the season was over, it came to me that, you know, I had a couple draft workouts that were scheduled. And my name was, you know, I was projected to be a first rounder if I came out. So I went down to came down to Houston, and I trained with John Lucas. and he got me into some great shape, and he got me ready for these workouts. I mean, he bust my behind in them workouts to the point where Luke could tell you today, when I see him with the Rockets and I go do the games or something, I run from him. So anyway, I work out for all the Texas teams, and I go to Boston. I kill Brian Cook, who was the player of the year in college. I killed him in a workout. Boston tell me, hey, we want you back. We want you to stay another day. I stay another day. They commit and tell me they go take me with their 20th pick. Now all the college stuff that went out the window for me. I got a verbal commitment from Danny Ainge that I'm going with the 20th pick in the first round. You know, now I'm looking out for me. I'm thinking, KT, you still good. You going to Memphis.
Right.
Man, when I declared for the draft and kept my name in the draft, John Calipari said, no, sir. He came snatched that scholarship from KT, and KT was kind of left out to dry. He ended up, I think, going to
JUCO, and then he went to BYU.
He ended up going to JUCO. Me and KT didn't talk for a while behind that, man, for a long time, like 10 plus years.
But why? But Perk, did you not reach out to him, or he just said he was mad at you? How did that happen?
I think it was part so he was mad at me and mad at our high school coach, Coach Butte.
Okay.
But you know, at the end of the day, it wasn't our fault. It was more so like, I mean, Cal snatched the scholarship away.
Right.
And so he ended up having to go to JUCO. Then he ended up going to BYU, which he made a great name for himself at BYU because his senior year, I think he was Conference Player of the Year. He was down there averaging 19-9, almost a 20-10 guy in college, and we know that's some great numbers. And man, that's what ended up happening. He snatched one. When I declared and left, Cal got in his feelings. He got in his feelings and snatched that scholarship, man. And me and Keenan Young are on good terms now.
That's
but
good.
Man, but it was crazy. And that's how that went. That's exactly how that went. No in between. That was clear cut. That was it right there for you, Hicks.
Yeah.
So
Jimmy.
And that's great. You guys got back together, man. That's great.
Jimmy, I got a unique text. They say Jimmy just talking about Hightower. Wait a minute. Jerome Tang. He mentioned the coach of Jerome Tang at Heritage Christian, but he didn't mention Hightower's coach.
Back in those days.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hightower's coach happened to be Greg Wise. So how in the hell you didn't mention Greg Wise's name?
And that's the summer of 2000. I mean, the fall of 2001.
Yeah.
These are the preseason rankings. And can you guys see it? I think.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Beaumont Ozan was number 1. I had Hightower number 2. That's Greg Wise. Actually went back to back.
Y'all help me out, Jimmy, because I didn't watch Perk when he was in high school. I was busy off messing with Penny and Rashard and all that.
Hey, Hannah, I feel sorry for your loss, man.
Tell me, Jimmy, tell me what he was doing. Hey, hold up. Everybody on the Facebook feed, everybody on the YouTube feed, tell me your greatest Kendrick Perkins moment, because I wasn't blessed enough to see him. What was he good at? I know he was big as a mother. I heard he was the biggest one. But what did he have? What did he do? What you do, Perk? No,
dude,
Jimmy, what did he do?
Dude, Perk was, of course, he was the most imposing and the biggest player in most gyms. He was big and he played big. Okay. And when Perk get that thing, if he ever got 2 hands on the ball,
it was done.
He drop stepped with. He was one of the greatest drop step in high school drop steppers because he went through you. And a lot of the guys didn't realize Shaq rules applied to KP. And if I was a coach or something against him, I would have. And I actually had the opportunity to coach against Kendrick Perkins twice. And that's going to be a blast to the past. We share with you guys in just a second. I know I'm going to make him remember this. He going to remember me. You know, them little young guys, you going to remember me. Watch this in a second.
I know Pertinent won if you was coaching.
No, I won one. They got lucky on the other. I'll tell you about that. Watch. He'll tell you. Now, he was imposing. He rebounded well. And the thing was, of course, because he was so big and like he was going, so the tempo for Bowman and Ozen was perfect for KP because that program wasn't known how to for busting the clock. They weren't known for scoring 80, 90, 100 points on the regular. Okay. They could get up in the 50s and be comfortably fine. So that's 14, 15 points a quarter.
Okay.
You know, that they could score. And that tempo, it helped him. And when he got it on the inside, KP was a good shot blocker. And it looked like he was working, as most importantly from the fan aspect. And that's why a lot of you guys, when you go watch some of these young people play, the myth or the hype precedes them. When you go to see them, then if a kid out there lollygagging, and you know he's more talented, it tend to fall out of favor. With KP, he's going to be drenched in sweat. He's going to be out there trying to get it. And guess what? If you get in that way, he's going to put you in the ring. So what are some of the people saying about it?
Oh, man, they say you was a bully. They said Baby Shaq. They talking about unstoppable, intimidating, aggressive for folk. I mean, man, they just, God. So you used to scare, these little boys probably used to be scared of you around here, Perk.
Man, hey, you know what's crazy was that my game changed though, cause like from my sophomore year, when I went down to the state tournament and broke all Shaq records that first year when we went 36-0,
right?
I actually was in a different bag then. Okay. I mean, I was a more skinnier Perk. See, people don't understand. Oh, okay. I really didn't put on a lot of size and a lot of weight, and I didn't get real thick until my 11th and 12th grade year. You go and watch my sophomore year. Okay. I was a beanpole. Okay. So I used to have turnarounds. I used to have a nice little jump shot, and I remember it was the state semifinals, and I went against, I forgot what team it was. I think I dropped 37, but I had all type of moves, and I mean, I was in my bag. But then as I started getting more bulkier and more putting on weight, and it all wasn't great weight, trust me, I wasn't just 5%, 10% body fat, but everything in my mind in 11th and 12th grade was catch, dunk. Now, what I did was my high school coach, Coach Andre Butte and Harry Gunner, they did install in me from the jump was a jump hook. I mean, I had a jump hook from when guys weren't even thinking about shooting a jump hook. That was my go-to move. 2 dribble, bam, right hand jump hook. And if I didn't have a jump hook, like Hicks was saying, I was drop stepping, and my thing was my mindset was to go up and snatch the screws out of the rim. That was my whole mindset. You better go up there and snatch the screws out of it. And that was my mindset.
Let me tell you something, Perk. I'm gonna tell you what's so amazing about this. From what I'm seeing, you scoring all these points, you got the ball a lot. Evidently, you had some guards on your team that knew how to pass the ball into the post.
You know what? I played with some really great guards. I had one guard that was my sophomore year named Albert Marshall. Mm-hmm. He finished. He was second. He was second all all Texas or whatever it was. He was second, like he made the second team.
Right.
Second team. Okay. Underrated shooting guard. He averaged 18 points. And then I had my junior year, I had a point guard that I think both of you guys are familiar with that I'm proud of. One of my good friends today that went to Lamar and went overseas for a little bit, but now he's coaching at Lamar, Brandon Chappelle. So who also averaged a cool 17 points and knew how to get me the ball on time, on target. And the way that, like Hicks said, the way that the system was ran, it was ran like, you know what? okay, y'all want to play zone? What I'm about to do is I'm about to overload one side. I'm going to put Keenan Young at the free throw line. I'm going to put a shooter in the corner. And now I'm still about to force feed Perk. And if y'all, what people don't understand is that they talk about the 8 blocks, but I averaged 5 assists in high school too.
Wow.
Because I was unselfish. Danny Angel tell you, he said he drafted me not only because of, he said the one thing that stood out to him was my passing and my outlet passing. And so, you know, Hicks was right on time with that. That system was built for me because, you know, Hicks, hey, Coach Andre Butte, when he played, he played in the paint, a 6'4" post. So he didn't know no other way but to, we go punching into the big fella.
God, Jim, you got something? Because I got another one for him.
And I want to I want to segue back to the NBA.
Okay, good.
But I real quickly give you the time that I coached against Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, give me that one.
And this was the summer of 2000. The summer of 2000. And we played a game, the first game. It was actually at Hightower High School. He was with the Houston Hoops. He had Indy Eby. He had Lanny Smith. He had Michael Ume on that team. He went to BYU and ended up, you had Keenan Young ended up going to BYU as well later on. You had Tony Hills on that team. We ended up playing a football at UT. That's a stacked team. They all played 15U, Hatter. This was a 15U team. This was 9th grade.
Okay.
We was the Hayes Select. We walked in there with some reversibles, with some iron-on, with some Converse reversibles, with some iron-ons on there, with the hay on there. And I had Tag Mine. That was your first time meeting Tag Mine.
Oh, that's
and Tag tore us up.
Oh,
I remember that. Yeah, Tag tore us up. I was like, oh my God, who is this killer? I mean, you don't even have to go no more. I remember this. Hey, listen, and I'm talking about, and he did it in great fashion too, boy. He was talking so much noise and giving us the work. I said, oh my God, who is this guy right here?
Yeah.
Yes.
We played them again in the AAU championship game to go to national. Yep. We all when you make it to the championship game, you already automatically both teams qualify. So it was rematch for them.
No, keep going. I'm just getting out of my I'm getting out of my wife's office because she got to do her studying, but I can't let this in. I'm moving in a different part of the house. I'm moving in a different part of the house.
So they were so mad because of that game. And understand how this was a packed house at Hightower. They only had one side of the bleachers out, and it was packed. No Twitter, no social media, and it was packed on the one side. All due respect, at one side of the bleachers, but that whole one side was filled up for one game. It wasn't a tournament. This was a put-together game, Hatter, at 9th grade.
You said something very key, Jimmy. When you told me you had Tag Minor, anybody can coach when Tag Minor got the ball.
No, man, you understand, Hatter? Not against those guys. Tag was in round form.
Tag ain't coach that. Wait, Jimmy, what was you running, Jimmy? What was you running, Jimmy?
Hold on.
I had pounds, a press breaker, and I had a set that I got from Yates because I had his starting 5. And that was it. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
You know.
But that was a lie.
Wow. I got to call Tack.
Now, KP, the rematch, Hatter, we was playing them. Understand, Tack scored 42 points that first game. This is a 9th grade game. We play them again in the championship. Tack is on fire again, talking even more smack. So we're winning by about 10 points. KP, you're going to remember this moment. The lights went out in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Went out in the gym. All of a sudden, the lights went out. Just like KP, internet went out a while ago. The lights out. Right? So all of a sudden, I swear to you, to this day, I believe that somebody, Hal Passner, somebody went around the side and hit the power because those dudes was KP was bent over. That was my whole objective. You know, it was simple logic for coaching. It wasn't like I had the X's and O's. I say, listen, they too slow for us. We're gonna run their ass to death. And we beat them already. Let's go at it. And Tech was grooving. We up by 10. Lights go off. They come back and they're down by 1. And my little point guard, little Harris, turned the ball over coming up. We had the ball up by 1 with 6 seconds left. They get the ball, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking my defense. Think about it. Perk, and you remember this. I was thinking about it. They got Indy Eby, Kendrick Perkins. 6 seconds, they down by 1. What do you think? What do you think they're gonna do coming out of that inbound play? What do you think they're gonna do? That's what I set my defense up for. So I set my defense up to key, and I say they're gonna get it in on a high-low. It's gonna be a quick high-low from Indy Eby top of the free throw line and try to dump it to Perk. He gonna try to get in. He gonna either get fouled or we can't stop him. Guess what happened? They run a play and run Perk and Eby as a freaking decoy, and they get a ball to Michael Rose coming on the baseline. And what did he do? What did he do, Perk?
Hey, one thing about Michael Rose. Hey, listen.
Ooh.
He not come when you want him, but he was always on time. Listen, you know what? Let me tell you something. And he's not going to give you the secret too. Michael, let me tell you something about Mike Rose. See, what people didn't understand about Mike Rose was that this is a fact. Let me tell you, this is the craziest thing I ever heard from a shooter. Now, I watched Mike Rose torch people in the AAU circuit with us with the hoops. I'm about people went zone. You left him open for that 3 ball. He was, and Hicks, you know this. It was lights out. He played well when you had a background behind the basketball goal. Like, you know, like, you know how you play. If you had a wall that was behind the goal, he could shoot the light out. But if it was empty, like if it was like empty for us, like with stands or they didn't have really a wall behind the goal, oh man, he would struggle. And it played a psychological game with him. But yeah, Hicks, he did hit that. But listen, man, when you brought up that game, I remember that like crazy, man. Y'all were on a mission. And look, see, this the crazy thing was that I was driving down coming from Beaumont, Texas, so I didn't really know about this real inner city Houston. Like, you see how what you gotta understand is this Houston hoops and us going at it, us Hicks going at us with Tag Minor. See, this was bigger than just a regular AAU game. This was kind of a beef. Yeah, this is a beef. You got beef between Landon Smith and Tag Minor, this Houston thing going on. I'm just kind of thrown in the middle of it and not really knowing that I done got myself into some fire with this young bull who I didn't know nothing about. But I'm like, there's no way this guy 15, because you know, like I know Hicks, Tag was a grown man. Like when you looked at this body structure and he had a deep voice at the age of 15. You was like, man, there's no way, man. This dude got to be older than this. And he played grown, though. Like, he played grown, physical. You didn't find physical guards like him. Guards was finessing. Like, Landon Smith had a bag where he'll cross you over and get to the no looks and stuff like that. But Tack was I'm going you elbows through your chin, that type of stuff. Like, yeah, I do remember. That was them good old days right there.
Man, I'm telling you, and that's what we promised to do, is give you a blast, take you for a blast to the past. And indeed, we've done that. And KP, we want to segue back to this NBA. And of course, earlier today, you shared your thoughts about comments that Draymond Green recently made as a result of the Last Dance. And Draymond was talking about he was disappointed with MJ, and in your comments, I'll read your tweet.
He was disappointed in MJ. He wasn't disappointed. He wasn't disappointed in MJ, was he?
Yeah, he's disappointed in MJ about the bread. about Scott, about that's what he mentioned, Draymond Green.
Oh, I got you.
And
Okay.
and so, but here's I'm gonna read Kendrick Perkins' comment. Say Draymond's comments and the writer taking shots at KD, different topic, was the same conversation, same interview, but different topic.
Right.
Taking shots at KD are the reasons why you don't put a team before yourself. When I told my little bro not to rush back from that injury, little bro meaning KD, not to rush back from that injury is because of stuff like this. Look out for yourself because that loyalty expires when you are no longer a benefit. Elaborate on that.
I saw that.
Yep. So yeah, as you know, KD is like a little brother of mine. And last year I was covering a lot of the finals working for ESPN. And I remember when KD got hurt, and in my mind I'm saying, we having conversations on the phone. I'm not telling him what to do. I'm giving him advice. I'm looking out for him as a person. I'm like, listen, I'm retired now. And, it's things that I look back on my career and say, you know what, man, I wish I would have done this better. Or I wish I would have, because one thing I've learned that I learned from Doc Rivers is he always told me, he said, Perk, these years go by extremely fast. He told me this. He was like, Perk, they go by fast. And you never want to take these NBA years for granted. And so what I told KD was, I said, look, I've been here, bro. I tore my ACL. I know what you're going through. I know mentally you want to play, but you have nothing to prove. You're a back-to-back champ, back-to-back finals MVP. You have nothing to prove to nobody. The only way I want you to come back is to make sure you're at least 90 to 100% healthy. Because at the end of the day, man, you don't owe nothing to nobody, and you don't want to re-injure or make this even worse where you miss, like he did, a year of NBA because of injury and that he can't get back. And now I'm reading all these comments since KD left, like, hey, KD was saying this about Steph, and KD was saying this about Clay, and now Draymond is saying that the elephant in the room was that KD never addressed his contract situation. I'm sitting up here thinking to myself, man, instead of y'all sitting up here talking about KD and talking about all the negative stuff about Kevin Durant, y'all need to be praising this man, because this man not only put his body on the line, he put his legacy on the line. Because when KD joined the Warriors, his legacy was on the line. Like, if he wouldn't have won championships with the Warriors, KD's legacy would have been tarnished for years, for the rest of his life. So at the end of the day, this man came to y'all, he delivered, he made y'all a dynasty. At the end of the day, so where's all this backlash coming from out of nowhere? So my defense was to KD and to the world was like, hold on. Before y'all to these upcoming players that's coming in, don't forget that this is a business. There's no loyalty in the NBA. Yeah, you have some loyal people, but that's always remember that this is a business. And always remember, you're going into this and you need to approach this like an everyday job, that you're going in to do your job, you're going in to make your salary, and do what you want and do what you're supposed to do at a high level and go on about your business. Don't ever think I'm going to put the franchise and I'm laying it out on the line for the franchise. And I watched too many players do it. I watched Lil Isaiah Thomas do it. Go out there for the Celtics and put his body on the line, knowing he wasn't healthy. Went out there right after his sister died, God rest her soul, and put up a 50-piece and knowing emotionally he wasn't there. And so that was my message, is more so to the younger generation of hoopers that's coming up, that's going to be in the NBA, and the guys that are in the NBA right now, to protect yourself. Protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, once you're done playing in the NBA don't care about you no more. The NBA gonna keep rolling. The NBA gonna keep rolling. It don't even matter. Basketball don't stop. Think about it. Michael Jordan retired. Larry Bird retired. Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Kareem. This goes on. Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. Guess what? The NBA still rolling. We looking for our next superstar. They still making billions. And what you find what's happening is what I'm seeing is a lot of guys that have retired and their basketball career is over. They don't know how to cope well. So they're looking for needed attention. Think about this. How many guys would be able to survive right now if we didn't have social media? These guys would go crazy. No social media, they wouldn't know what to do with their lives. Like right now, especially when we going through this pandemic, no social media, it will go crazy. And I'm not talking about us now. I'm not talking about us as guys that's media and part of the media and the analysts and stuff like that. I'm talking about hoopers. So this is just a reality check to hoopers that are still in the NBA that when you retire, you got to make sure you're ready for this, because that fame that you and all that attention that you once was getting, it goes out the window, you know. But to my tweet, I was just saying, man, look, at the end of the day, all you young hoopers that's coming up and you get to the NBA, don't get fooled. You know, certain situations, it is family. And we did have a family. In OKC, it was a family. But at the end of the day, don't forget that it's a business. And don't get your heart and your feelings too involved, because at the end of the day, it's a business.
A business indeed. Now, speaking of the NBA, Perk, and of course, you an NBA analyst now. And so that means they're not playing, you're not working, so to speak. How do you think this NBA season will play out? When do you think it's going to resume? What are you hearing? Are you hearing things on the other side of the fence that probably before we get it?
Well, I'm not. And to me, when it first started, I was very optimistic, man, about the NBA returning. I'm like, you know, I feel like we have the best commissioner in sports in Adam Silver. That's why the NFL tried to steal him from us, but we was like, he's not going nowhere. He's a player commissioner. The players love him. The fans love him. I think he's the best. I'm like, man, the NBA is going to figure it out. Some type of way we got to figure it out. And I wasn't taking this coronavirus serious. And I don't think really none of us was at the time. I realized that, man, it's like, I don't know. It's like I want sports. I need sports so bad in my life. And especially basketball at this point in time, we talking about this, the NBA playoffs supposed to be going on. But it's like, now I'm looking at things totally different. I'm like, the sports will always be, when are we going to get back to normal living? You know, when are we going to be able to go back in the studio with you guys in the chop shop, and we be around each other and not do this social distancing? But no, man. But I'm still staying optimistic that the NBA is putting a plan together, and that, you know, when they have the sign that says go, they're gonna be ready. They're gonna have the season scheduled out, the rest of the season, and I think we'll be able to play it out. Hopefully, that's what I'm assuming.
I saw on Sunday that the Chinese Baseball Association, they're playing, Perk. And they had a unique situation that happened the other day. Jimmy, you probably know him. It's a pitcher that used to play for the Astros. I can't think of his name. He hit a player on his butt. They had fake. Hold up. They had fake fans in the stadium,
in the stands,
and robots in the stadium, trying to assimilate the fans. But the pitcher hit the one of the batters on the butt, and shoot, they came, the bench is empty, and they were not practicing social distancing then. So it's just crazy, man, that they forgot about, everybody was doing everything right until that pitcher hit that dude. Then everybody came out there, they got to talking and grabbing and hugging. So it's I don't know.
But see, he had a great point right there. And see, that's what I'm saying overall. Can't force the issue because us trying to play sports without fans, that's like us trying to have those collard greens without the ham hocks. It just ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That mixture, that flavor just not there. You know, the reason teams fight for home court advantage because fans win you ball games. No matter how you want to look at it, when you at home, it's a reason teams are able to rally being down 15 with 10 minutes to go and been able to come back because, and how many times we done heard in any sport, I did this. So, you know, if it ain't the norm, you gotta have them fans in attendance. You know what I'm saying? Or we just gotta get this thing out.
Well, we got a couple more, Jimmy. I got one because the fans asked a long time ago. They asked you about the KG, the Ray Allen situation, and Ray Allen leaving and going and playing with Miami. Is there anything you can talk about that you know, and share with the fans a little bit about that? Is KG still mad at him, or somebody mad at somebody? I know. So what's going on?
It is. KG is my big brother. I'm very loyal to him. I talk to him every day. He's a loyal person. I don't never ask him about the situation because I know I'm in that media side. But I do know this. This is what happened. During that series, the last series when the Celtics were together, I was gone. And LeBron and the Miami came back down 3-2, and they was down 3-2 to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Ray wasn't happy that he was coming off the bench. Doc had made Ray the sixth man at the time. And what ended up happening was that after Miami ended up beating the Celtics, Ray was caught talking to Braun and D Wade and them after the game. And if you know, I know, if you in that Celtic locker room, that's a big no-no. It's no friends. If you ain't bleeding green, we don't fool with you, period, point blank. And so, off season, nobody heard from Ray. The Celtics had a 2-year, $12 million deal for Ray. He was going to make $6 million a year. He turned that down, didn't reply back. Nobody talked to him. And all of a sudden, headlines come out. He signed a 2-year deal for $6 million, less money, and went to the Miami Heat. And they felt like there was this loyal. And we all know when it comes down to KG and loyalty, it ain't no in between with him. Either you on the right side of the fence or you all the way left. And right now, Ray Allen is all the way left. Will they ever talk again? I don't know, because KG don't even bring it up. He don't even say his name. When he talk about Ray, he don't even mention his name. He say the other guy or that dude. So I don't know if it ever could be something that could be ever healed. You know, but that's the story behind it.
That's good.
And we had another question from Olga, and I was trying to grab that question. Yeah, I was trying to find it. I wanted to get a female question in, and I don't know what happened. Anyway,
I got it, Jimmy.
Says, do you remember the time, speaking of Draymond Green, Sean said, do you remember the time that Draymond got slapped in the face by Tristan Thompson? He said, ask KP about that.
I wasn't there, but I heard about it. I heard he unleashed on him. I don't know. I think it was something that happened in the game. You know, Draymond talking noise, probably crossed the line, and I heard they was out to dinner, and Tristan walked in, and he had it on his mind. He wanted to smoke, and they carried over. And it was in the season, and I heard he walked in, and he blessed Draymond game. You know, some guys just want to. You know, some guys want that smoke and they hold on to it, and that's what happened.
I ain't know Tristan had it in him.
Man, he let a Canadian beat him.
Listen, I'm telling you, Double T is what we call him, but hey, Tristan Thompson is a fierce individual.
Okay, now. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Hey, yeah, his heart do not pump Kool-Aid.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, who and for the looser term of the word, how does good at giving it correct and he's my he's my almanac, my thesaurus. So he's gonna give me a better word. Who's the craziest teammate that you ever played with? I'll give you the craziest 2 teammates. Hal, what words I use instead of saying crazy, Hal?
Oh shit, I don't know. Let me think of it. Go on, Cupert.
You know,
It's two that comes to mind off the muscle. KG and Russell Westbrook. And here's why. One of them is big brother and little brother to me, great friends of mine. But this is why they crazy. Because I never seen 2 guys that had an on and off switch like them. They were completely different off the court than they are on the court. I mean, when they got on the court, those were 2 guys that when I walked in the locker room on game days, I didn't want to be around them. I knew not to talk to them because they was moody. They was on edge. They wanted shit their way. It was like, it's game time. Let's go. It's like MF of, whatever. Let's rock. Like, yeah. And then off the court, the best guys to be around, want to have a good time, want to dance all day long, talk stories, play cards, eat junk food. I mean, it was so crazy to me. I'm sitting up here saying, I don't understand this. Like, I'm talking about it's literally apples and oranges, and that's why it's crazy to me because I think they the craziest people because I never seen a person that have an on and off switch like that. Was how they are on the court to how they are off the court.
And Perk, I'm glad you said that. Just me being around your other big brother, Sam Cassell, for all of his career, I had the advantage of being around KG, and just to echo what he is, one of the most refined Renaissance men off the court. He know all the best wines, the best. It's just unbelievable. He just this crazy guy on the court, but he's just a refined, intelligent individual. When you go to the restaurants, he knows everything to order. It's unbelievable. The on, like you said, the on and off switch that he blessed, that he has, and it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, a couple other questions. We're about to get ready to land this plane, but I wanted to get these last few questions in for the viewers.
All good.
Oh man, I told you we was gonna take you to blast to the past. Ain't nothing like the chop shop.
Ain't nothing like it. That's why I have to make sure I can't.
To the side. Boy,
Look, I'm in my closet trying to figure out which brim I'm gonna put on my wife. Like, what you doing, boy? I say, man, you don't understand. I'm about to go on the chop shop. This is how you gotta go on the chop shop. So for them, people gotta recognize this is how you gotta approach it when you come on the chop shop.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, now Brandon asked you, speaking of Russ, did you see during your time in OKC? Did you see MVPs in Harden, KD, and Russ?
Did I see MVPs in those guys?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, listen, Hicks, when I first got to Oklahoma City, and the first couple of games that I played with those guys, each one of those guys, I was like, you know what? I've struck gold. I went from one great situation and landed in another one. I was like, oh man, we about to win us a few titles over here. I was like, oh, this is on. And there we go. Hey, I'm so proud, baby. You gotta, but man, I'm telling you, when I got there,
my chest hurt.
Scott Brooks pulled me up in the office and he said, Perk, it's different over here, man. This here, we call this Oklahoma City U. And I said, well, what you mean? He said, because, man, these guys work like they in college. They practice like they in college. That's how hard they work. So I'm like, man, I just came from playing with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and KG, Sam Cassell. Man, I know what hard work is. James Posey.
I don't want to hear that. But when I seen these young guys, these young killers, and the way that they approach the game of basketball at that age, I was like, no, the sky's the limit for these kids. I knew Russ and KD eventually was going to be superstars like they are today. But here's the thing. I watched James, and I was like, James is good. He's going to be good. I could see him scoring 18 to 20 points a game. But it was times he came in off that bench for us, and he had 40 points off the bench and sharing the court with Russell and KD. I was like, hold on. This guy might be special. And then all of a sudden, we get to the playoffs, and we playing against the Dallas Mavericks, and James Harden erupts for about 26 points in the fourth quarter and goes on a tear in a closeout game. And I said, man, ooh.
Perk was grooving right.
There
you go.
You back. Keep going, Perk.
They talking about they should have kept that team together. I said it was no way possible. There's no way possible they could have kept those three together. James Harden had to leave. Because if James Harden would have stayed in OKC, we wouldn't have been able to see this James Harden today. He wouldn't have been an MVP James Harden. He had to bounce. But did I see it in him? Absolutely. Since I first stepped though in OKC.
Now, what we got for you, Perk, real quick, and this is going to be a fun part of the Chop Shop. We're introducing this part to you. What we're doing is we have a couple of questions from the viewers.
Okay.
Because this is all about the viewers, and this is a great way for them to feel connected to you, because they have a lot of great questions. I'm looking at a few of them on both platforms, YouTube and Facebook, which we're streaming live on. And however, your answer, Hatters going to put up the time, and it's going to be a shot clock.
24 seconds.
All right.
So you got to get your answer in before the shot clock is up.
Okay.
If the shot clock expires, then you hurt the rest of the fans. It's done. We can't ask no more questions.
Okay.
So now, you ready for this? First question.
Let's
First
get
question is from
Hold up, Jimmy, let me get that timer ready on it.
Okay.
All right, okay, I'm ready. All right.
The first question is, ask Kendrick how basketball training in the South part of the country is compared to on the other coast. Go.
Hold on, Jim. Hold on. I lost.
Oh, you got it. Okay, let me redo it.
Okay. Now, Byron Green asked you the question, how is basketball training? Because you mentioned John Lucas earlier and some training. How's the training in the South part of the country, down in this way, as opposed to on the East Coast or up north, in the Northeast?
It's better. You know why? Because our training down here, we able to get out in this hot sun. We do stuff. We do track training. We run bleachers. We get down to the nitty gritty. Nothing like being in the South. That South training is different. We don't have gyms with AC units in there. Now, outside in the heat of the day, getting it in. We running hills and sleds as hoopers. That's when it's different. When your shirt off and you out there getting it.
Where your buzz at, Hannah? You got your buzz?
I ain't buzzing, Perk.
Okay. Next question. Why does you go so hard for Bron over MJ, other than pure bias?
Well, who, me personally?
Yeah. That was one of the questions.
But the thing is, all I did was bring up conversation. I never said who was the GOAT.
Right.
I just brought up conversation. And here's the reason why. Because to me, I think LeBron James, when you're judging an NBA player, I think winning championships gets thrown in there too much. This is not an individual sport like boxing is. Now winning championships could hurt. I mean, they could help your legacy, but I don't think they should hurt your legacy. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Watch it. Here it is, Perk. The
next question from Michael. He says, can you elaborate on your comments about MJ getting player of the game in losses, but Bron not getting player of the game in losses? Go.
So here's my thing. My whole thing with the MJ thing was before I watched the documentary, I heard all the stories. I seen the highlights of the 60 points and the 49 points that he put up in the Boston Garden, okay? Not the Garden, the Garden that he put up in the Garden. I just heard about it. But when I watched the documentary, I was like, hold on. He lost those games? Like, he put up those points and they lost? Now let LeBron James put up those points and lose. The whole media and everybody else kills LeBron for losing. Who is the same narrative from Jake? See, I didn't know I didn't.
Yeah. Okay, now we back. How do you ready? We got.
I've been ready. Hey, I stay ready. Hold up. Okay. Come on.
Oh man, Ricky asked, what high school team in the 409 gave you the most competition during your high school days?
Ooh, I would have to say, man, we only played the Lincoln Bumblebees one time. I would probably have to say the Central Jaguars, and that's a big. I mean, that's being generous because everybody in 09 at that time who we was playing against, boy, was getting smacked up. We was smacking people up, but I have to say the Central Jaguars.
Beaumont Central Jaguars. And ironically, Beaumont Central was one of the arch rivals of Beaumont Ozen. And both schools have merged, consolidated to form what now is known as Beaumont United. And
I got a question, Jimmy. And I saw this last night. They were talking about, I think it might have been on the Draymond thing, and they were talking about how Michael was mad. You know, first of all, everybody is mad at Jerry Cross. You know, when they see the video, everybody don't like Cross. But think about this. Cross, and what I found out from the people in Chicago, Cross was doing Jerry Reinsdorf bidding. Okay? Everybody was mad at he was the fall guy. The man hired a baseball scout to come. See, y'all don't understand. Michael Jordan had, listen, that's what people don't understand. Michael Jordan, as his GM, he had a coach Stan Auerbach, Doug Collins, ain't now one of them coach no more. And then, hold up, they brought in a baseball scout, Perk, to be his GM. So
right.
I look and what I was thinking about, Michael got mad, y'all, and you tell me if he was wrong or not, Perk. Michael got mad because Jerry Reinsdorf bought everybody in the organization a ring. And he said he felt only the players should have got a ring. That man bought the secretary, the janitor, and Jerry Reinsdorf bought everybody a ring. And Michael Jordan hated Jerry Reinsdorf for that. What do you think about that?
I have to, and I think MJ was wrong for that. Okay. Because, you know, as being part of an organization that won a championship in Boston, so in my opinion, you're the players, you go out there and compete and you play, and you're running the suicides, putting in the hard work. But it's also a lot of people who's sacrificing their hard time and doing their job to the utmost too, to put you in position to be successful. And those people are right there with you in the trenches, and they also deserve the ring. And that's just my thought, because when you look at the training staff, the medical staff, the people that prepare the arena and get the arena together and all that stuff, everybody plays a huge part. And to me, I think everyone deserves a ring because everybody's on that same journey together. That's just my thoughts.
That's a good one. What you got, Jim?
And another question, Kevin asked, Freeman asked, who's the best shooter, Abdul Rauf, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time.
Yes.
To me, it's not even a debate. He's the greatest shooter of all time. When you have a guy like Steph who changed the game, he changed the game. We're talking about
And I know what he means by change the game. Guess what?
Time.
Keep going, Perk. You just blacked out a little bit. You said he changed the game. Why?
He changed the game from like we call Steph Curry a hybrid. He's not a point guard. He's not a shooting guard. He's something that we've never seen before. He created bad shots. Like he made bad shots a good thing. Like and splashing them, coming across half court, shooting the ball, dropping his hands, shooting the ball out of the corner, the three, dropping his hands. When you go in the gyms, how many kids you see doing that? Everybody. He's generational talent. He changed the game. He's the best shooter of all time.
And I'm going to add something to you, Perk. He also made the center position almost obsolete. The traditional centers. And he made it. Now centers coming out shooting what? Threes now. So this guy, he changed the game in a whole lot of ways. Think about the centers now. Guys that play, like you said, the drop step guys. That ain't
now that's dead.
Yes. Jimmy.
And one of the last questions. Melvin's asked, Perk, do you think the back to the basket dominant postman will ever make a comeback? Why or why not?
Oh, it will. I got one in mind. Just give him about 10 years. His name Kingston Perk. He'll be in a second. He'll be there and he'll change the game in just a minute. Now I know.
And that is KP's son. And I've saw
game has changed.
Videos. What team he plays with? What team he plays with?
He just in the second.
Oh, okay.
So he played for the team out here in Houston. But now, in all honesty, I don't see it happen. I think the game has changed. I think you have to be in your bag nowadays. I think nobody wants to see that style of play no more. It's boring. The NBA don't even want to see it. Like, they want action. That's why the scores be 135 to 140. Nobody want to see people dropping the ball on the block or plays through the elbows. No, they want to see highlights.
Jimmy and Perk, you know what? I thought about something before we go. I just want both of us just to recollect. Because by the time next week, Perk, about Sunday, we're going to have the other Jordan, the part 2, part 3, and part 4 come out. But somebody said something the other night, Perk, just been ringing in my mind. They said this. Check this out, Perk. They said Michael Jordan was better at his job at a level that nobody else has ever done their job. I mean, that had me thinking about that. It's somebody on the show. A lot of people glossed over it, but when I went back and listened to it again, it said Michael Jordan was better at what he did at his job at a level that nobody else has ever done at their job. Perk, think about this, Perk. When they got to the finals, they never lost. I'm sorry.
Did you hear what I said?
What'd you say?
I say, did LeBron James?
I missed it, Perk.
No. I say, did LeBron James die?
No, he didn't. He ain't died yet.
But because this is my. When we saying that a guy doing his job at the highest level, I'm taking it to a whole level. We're talking about a guy. We're talking about a guy in LeBron James who is so dedicated that he invests $2 million every year into his body. at the end of the day, we're talking about how are we viewing this? Are we viewing this because he won 6? He went to 6 straight champions. He went to 6 straight finals and won all 6. Mm-hmm. Or are we viewing this because LeBron James is one of the only guys that we've seen that plays 17 straight years and have an ounce of athleticism. His body features, his everything about his body is still the same. He's still fast, and we haven't seen a guy like this play at this level for 17 straight years. It was a stretch where, but between the time with 13 straight years, we could have said LeBron James was the MVP for 13 straight years. And here it is in year 17 at the age of 5. LeBron James is still, and if the season was, to me, the season had it was going down to the wire. Giannis wasn't a clear-cut favorite to me. Like, James was still in that MVP conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying.
And I like what you said. But let me show you. I think this is it's a few caveats that goes into that. They talking about the dysfunction of this franchise that wasn't for Michael. Michael had to put up with this stuff. I mean, just help me now. LeBron almost ran everywhere he went. Rich Paul and them went everywhere they wanted around the stadium, everything. They was talking about Michael having this dysfunctional relation. Even the general managers didn't like the coach. The owner didn't want to. I mean, he had all of this dysfunction, and they were still winning.
No, that's true. That is, you dead on with. That is facts.
I couldn't believe it, Perk. Listen to me, Perk. I used to go to the games. I didn't know all of that stuff was happening, and some more about to come out. It's gonna blow y'all away in the next. That was a dude. When a person got to joke and talk negative about said, man, you got fat pills, it's just some short pills, or we got the lower the gold. The man talking to his boss.
Yo.
And cussing him out on the bus. The man on the bus in the front, like, I don't really supposed to be here. I should take my car. I should take a cab because I really don't want to walk on the bus. And Scottie Pippen in the back cussing the man out. Dude, LeBron ain't had to go through nothing like that.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. I think I gotta tip my brim off to you. Let me tip it a little bit.
Hey, Perk, man, we want to definitely. Now, my last question for you of the day is, and you mentioned Doc Rivers, you mentioned Coach Butte, and who are your most influential 2 coaches in your entire career, whether it be year-round, no matter what? Who are your 2 coaches that you want to give flowers to while they're still living?
Like, you hit it right on you hit it right on the head, Jim. I got to give those roses to Coach Andre Butte, and I got to give those roses and give those daisies or whatever Doc like to old Doc Rivers, because I don't lie, without Coach Butte, I think he was about 60% of the reason I was to even make it to the NBA. I thought he took me under his wing. He installed me. He installed hard work in me. He put that goon, that real savage DNA into me. He built a system around me, and he put me in position to be successful. Now, when you look at Doc Rivers, without Doc Rivers, we had 4 years. When Doc Rivers became the coach of the Boston Celtics, he taught me how to be a professional on and off the court. He taught me how to be a star in my role. And without Doc Rivers, I don't know if I would have lasted 14 years, because that's how much knowledge and that's how much he meant and was an influence to me far as an NBA coach and a mentor on how to do things on and off the court. So I got to give both of them their flowers.
Hey, man, thanks so much, man. And Kurt,
Hold on. Let me get my man. Hold on. Y'all leave my man alone. Hold on. Watch this.
Hey, you know what? I can see right there, Perk. Hey, God, you forgot this was one of the most classic moments of the show.
What?
Was when Perk switched rooms. Perk said, "I can't get up this thing. We gonna keep talking of the crib," and then went and said, "Look, my wife told me I put my brim on today." My wife said, "Where you going?" That reminds me, because I already know Sandra saw me. She see me go, "Where you going today?"
Yeah. Who you gonna look good for? I'm going on the chop shop. I'm going on the chop shop. I gotta let her know, baby. This is you don't understand. And I had to make her understand. I'm on the chop shop today, baby. This is classic.
That's
man, man. It's an awesome convo, Perk, man. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. We went in overtime section. Shout out to all you guys, and thanks so much to all of you. We hey man, we got to do it again. Congratulations once again.
Yes.
Your flowers, while you can still smell them, and that is for your successful transition from NBA player to retired player into grabbing the microphone into the media side of the business. And I know what happens now because you were one of the few. Remember, we were in between break, and you probably missed when I said this. A lot of the guys who are of the former NBA stature that holding the mics are guys who are perennial all-stars. So you are in a different type. For you to maintain, you are already one of the most liked because of your Southern vernacular. And that people used to tease us the way we talk down south.
Yeah.
They used to laugh at it. And however, people love hearing it. And that's what's happening with you. And you're keeping it, keep on keeping on, brother. I'm telling you, you're doing a great job. And one day soon, I hope you consider possibly offering a workshop for some of the young student athletes who may be inspiring to get in media. And, because the ball is going to stop bouncing for everybody at some point in time. Right. And for most of them, it's not going to make it to the NBA. So that way, but they still can go to college and may want to major in the media relations or communications or journalism or whatnot. And so I'm inviting you to try to put something together, one in the next few years, and that way it can help open doors for young people for that avenue. And once again, thanks so much.
Hey, I thank y'all, man, and also I gotta return those roses before I leave because the Chop Shop, man, this is a great show, great podcast. You and Hatter are doing a great job, and outside of the show, I love, what you bring to the table. Y'all been doing this for years, Hicks. You've been doing this. You're a legend around here. Like you don't understand your word, when you speak on something, MFers listen. You understand? When you say, hey, that guy right there got talent, that kid there is special, I'm like, man, if I tell you what, if Hicks and the Chop Shop, if they approved him, you goddamn it, I don't even need to watch film on him. I know he's the real deal, or such and such. But I just want to applaud y'all, man, and keep going and thank y'all for all the inspiration that y'all bring and the great positivity in this basketball world. And I appreciate y'all. This was one of my best shows and one of my funnest shows I was a part of, and I love it.
And guess what? Once again, for those that tune in late, everybody can go back and watch today's show. Right. It will be on Facebook, on YouTube, in about 10 minutes after we go off the air. Yeah. You guys can go back and you can scroll to any point of the show that you want to start watching it at. And you can also, those comments will be on the side of your screen. And the great thing about it, which I do it all the time, there are a lot of questions, KP, that you might have didn't see. A lot of these questions, you can actually go back and hit the reply button as you're watching the show and reply. And it'll go back and it'll alert them, and it'll make it, the show will keep light. But thanks so much, man. Thanks you guys. You guys know what time it is. It's time for us to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing for the day. See you in 22 hours as I tip my lid on down now. Let me get in gangster mode. I'm up out of here. Chop, chop. Peace, y'all.
Bye. We out.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talk this sports talk. We live in